That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, timer started. Whose last name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce.
I like referring to players by the last name. I'm going to guess it's Doute, but you might be right in just guessing. I'm not 100% sure what he's playing, but we will find out soon enough.
We'll see. It'll be a fun guessing game until we get there.
All right, so yeah, the players are just shuffling up, and really excited to see what's going on. So yeah, I was kind of making fun of Greg a little bit as we were setting up. He has the same number of plateaus in his deck as he does underground seas, which my only feedback is one more underground sea, one less plateau, and this deck's probably pristine. But you know, it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
It was funny because he was playing one game before the event yesterday, and he had a scenario where he wanted to fetch an underground sea, he only had the only one in his deck in play already, so he was kind of SOL in that regard. But,
So for his deck, is it mostly sort of a just a Grixis control shell with Saheeli and Feldar Guardian?
It is,
combo
yeah.
Kill?
I think he also has Swords to Plowshares, and besides that, it's pretty much every card you'd expect.
So it looks like a... Oh, no, that's Ponder. Okay.
He's got a couple cantrips, Ponder Brainstorm, Force of Will Snap, and then some lands. Pretty much every blue deck in this scenario. Looks like Kurtis is going to find himself a blue source and an Opt coming down. Okay.
Okay, this should be interesting.
Looks like a scry to the bottom for Kurtis, and pass back to Greg. Draw off the turn, it's Colgan's Command, another pretty much staple Grixis card you see a lot of. Greg's going to go ahead and sequence here. So he played the Ponder first, which tells me, like, usually I want to play Ponder when I have the option of fetching or not, because then you can choose, do I want to get one card off this, two cards off this, three cards off this, pretty easily. And in this scenario, Greg doesn't quite have access to that, as really I think that you want to play the Ponder when you have the option of which land you can play rather than guaranteeing the fetch land. Greg is going to keep, I believe there's a Force of Will off this Ponder as well, in addition to the Swords of Plowshares he now has in hand.
Swords and Force and something else up top.
I think the third one was land, not 100% sure though. But.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that a Jace's Erasure? I'm guessing that's Jace's Erasure.
Oh boy. All right.
I hope you guys...
lost the bet already. Jace's Erasure. Let's see. When you draw cards, your opponent mills?
I believe they mill 2.
For 2, I believe, yeah. Nope.
So that is Jace's Erasure. I don't know if that's the card that he played, though. I think it is, but it's just the other picture.
The other printing, the 2012 printing, yeah.
Nope. All right. It's Jace's something.
Either that or that's... Oh, no, it's a...
Okay, so I think it's they mill 7, I think is what that card is. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I do know that card exists. I can't remember what it's called. It's Jace's something. Chat, if you guys are out there and you know the card that mills 7 for 2 mana.
That would be very great, yeah. Huh.
And so Greg having Colligan's Command is pretty excited to see cards go to his bin. There's kind of a happy medium of where you want some cards in your graveyard and not all of your cards, but...
Yeah, he did see a Saheeli go there, so that's not really one to easily get back.
Okay, so we got a Thoughtseize. It looks like we've got... I believe that's a
Kraken's
Kraken's... Yeah, Kraken's Eye in the middle there.
Oh, that top one is from Amonkhet. It's when you cast blue spells your opponent mills too.
Okay, and then he's got a Cancel, and I believe that...
Syncopate?
I think that's a Syncopate, yeah. It's either a Syncopate or it's the twin spell, the one that copies the next spell you play.
Oh, it could be
Or
that.
copies spell in the stack or something.
And then
like that.
another mill card, Psychic something.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is hard.
Oh.
I was expecting it was going to be the archaic cards that we mentioned.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Yeah, we're in deep jank territory. I'm feeling comfortable now.
I'm glad we get you in the booth for this one.
Yeah. All
Definitely
right.
a step up.
So I'm betting this is some sort of mono blue mill shell.
Definitely looks like a mill strategy. I'm wondering what the big payoff cards are.
Especially because it looks like he's not splashing black. You'd think you'd go, you'd splash black for Glimpse the Unthinkable.
Yeah, Glimpse the Unthinkable is very powerful.
Easily like the best mill card probably ever printed.
Yeah, it's... I'm going to say that Brain Freeze has probably had more success.
Brain Freeze.
But,
Okay. Brain Freeze needs a bit more support for it to run.
Yeah, agreed, yeah. In card for card, the most mill for one card is probably either Archive Trap or Glimpse the Unthinkable in terms of raw power level. I definitely agree with you there. And both Brain Freeze and Archive Trap are both a little cheaty in that regard, so I'm happy to say Glimpse is absolutely in contention. So it looks like another Thoughtseize from Greg. He wants to rip out another card here. Wants to do it while the counter spells are down.
Yep.
Looks like he's just going to attack some of the mill cards and be like, you can have the rest of them. Not too worried about anything else.
Yeah, especially you got rid of that Amonkhet milling enchantment that just sort of sits out there.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the right choice. That's obviously going to get the most value out of this.
Yeah,
Sticking
that is definitely
Kraken's Eye rather than holding up Cancel. I think probably that's not the right move by Kurtis. I mean, it's hard to say because Greg knows that there's the Cancel in hand.
Yeah, definitely.
The upside being that Greg doesn't care about life total to win.
Yeah, a lot of decks tend not to worry too much about attacking life totals. I think the Kraken's Eye is probably really, really effective versus some like hyperlinear aggro decks in those colors. So like if you're playing versus mono blue aggro, I think the Kraken's Claw on 3 is fantastic here.
Yep.
That being said, I think that it's kind of tough to evaluate what you're supposed to be doing in these matchups, and playing the card that kind of gains incremental value every turn feels like a slightly better bet. That being said, life gain is not necessarily the most powerful resource, and we're going to see Greg, again, use his life total here to be able to attack Kurtis' hand.
Thoughtseize number 3.
Yeah, third Thoughtseize of the game.
Left with just 2 cancels in hand now.
Yeah. Which are clunky. Oh, and Greg did play a blue spell. And the Eye cycle, I always think of Dragon's Claw, so I keep on almost calling it Kraken's Claw. They trigger off all spells cast, not just your spells cast. There was another cycle, I think 2 mana in a different core set that's only on your spells you control.
Yeah.
And it's not that one. It's a 3 mana one from 10th edition, and I think Mirrodin? I think it's Mirrodin block.
That sounds right,
set, yeah. Back to Kurtis after Crit Crack from that Snapcaster Mage. Is that an Approach the Second Sun? Nope, it is a land. Okay.
Is that the milling land?
I don't think it's a mill land. I think it's Moonring Island. It's from Shadowmoor. There's a cycle of them. Is it Moonring Island? Not quite.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what land that is.
Canceling the Colligan's Command, though.
Yeah, it came into play untapped. I'm guessing it's a desert from like Amonkhet
I
block.
think all the deserts come in tapped, though.
Okay. I thought there was a cycle that came in untapped.
You're right. There's one that comes in untapped.
Yeah. I think there's a cycle of them, one for each color. I just don't remember what that one is. Ooh, and here we are going to see the cat, Meow. So this is, of course, going to exile a permanent and untap it. There's a Snapcaster Mage in play. Sadly, no lands to flash any spells back. And, of course, untap some lands.
Land.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Probably the right choice there.
Yep, most definitely. And so Greg has double force and another cat in his hand. So he's looking to just resolve a Saheeli.
Resolve Saheeli, especially he knows all he needs to fight right now is a cancel. So that should be pretty good. It is the desert one. It's a sack the desert to...
Sack a desert mill 3?
Yeah. Should be mill 3.
4. Bingo. All right.
4.
I don't know a lot of standard cards, I will say.
Yeah, no, that's... Oof, this was during a time when I didn't play a whole ton of standard. And now, thanks to Arena, I'm back to playing a lot more of it.
I just never know card names when I play on online clients.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
So we're
just it's that thing that does the stuff.
Yep, exactly. I know the effect rather than the card name. So Greg is going to pass here with Force Up. He's got another Force behind it, so he can
Hard
just kind of...
cast Force
Yep.
up too.
He can just sit here with mana up and kind of just grind Kurtis out a little bit while he beats for 3 every turn. And this is honestly kind of how Grixis wins most of his game, is like some anemic beaters just going long.
Yeah. A whole lot of thrilling magic.
Yeah, it's an exciting one for sure. Legacy has some certainly impressive and powerful decks, and they can be really unfun to play against. But, you know, that's kind of how Legacy goes sometimes. One of the reasons that's so fun to me is that it's so punishing. You make a couple misplays, and there are some decks that can literally take that one misstep and turn a game around that should be a sure loss.
Another desert?
I think it might be.
That's the one that blows up lands and both people fetch for one.
Interesting.
I'm also remembering the effect. I think it's the 2 and tap.
Looks like it's going to get activated right now.
Or it might not be 2 and tap. It might be... Oh, it's the Exile the Graveyard land. That's right.
Oh, okay. Does it draw a card?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to Standard Graveyard Hate. Yeah, Scavenger Grounds. That's
Okay.
the one. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to Standard Graveyard Hate.
Fair enough. Yep. Greg has shown us the hand. He's got the plateau. I believe that's the plateau.
Oh, that's the plateau. Okay.
That's the plateau I've been giving him some crap about.
Yep.
We've got another opt from Kurtis, who's taking a peek at his cantrips, gaining a life off the Kraken's Eye. Almost said Kraken's Claw again. I'll get it one day. As someone who plays Modern Tron, I have no idea that card exists. So, okay, so that's another one. I believe it's a mill 7 for 2. Jace's touch your forehead is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Simon says touch your forehead.
Jace's forehead poke.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see what Greg's going to do. He might want to crack his fetches here just in case he can't whiff. I've definitely had the scenario occur where you can build past him. Greg also only has 1 Underground Sea in the deck and 1 Plateau. Same number of each of those 2 cards in his blue-black splashing red-white deck, you know.
Yeah, you know.
The way Magic's meant to be played, for sure.
Exactly.
Finds a Tundra here. It doesn't have him to Torok, so it doesn't need double black, so...
That's a bit of a relief, yeah.
Let's see what Greg's going to do here. Looks like 5 mana Force Will.
Yeah. I think that's the right play. He still needs... so he's lost 1 Saheeli all the way to Exile.
Ooh, and we got ourselves a stack. Kurtis going to fire back with a cancel here. Greg gets no forces and no mill 7.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a second blue source to pitch the force in his hand. 5, 6...
No Saheeli's in there. Gurmag Angler's pretty rock solid, though.
Yeah.
I know that all of Greg's cards are Russian, so I'm sure this is really fun for him, too. This is why I don't like playing with foreign cards. I hate having to explain cards. And it's like, if that's the most convenient route, I'm unhappy.
Oh, definitely understand that. If you play a Knight of Legacy and no one reads one of your cards, I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. That's certainly something you aim for, I'm sure. So we got ourselves another cat coming down. We'll see what Greg's going to do with this. Imagine this is going to blink the snap.
Yeah, he actually can cast stuff with the snap this time.
Yep, this time he has mana to flash something back. Looks like it's going to be a cantrip this time.
Yeah.
The incremental equity is going long. Every creature is a Snapcaster Mage.
The reason on cancel, I think, to answer Stasis' question in chat, I'm pretty sure this is someone's homebrew sort of budgety mono blue deck.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that he, just probably finished the deck and he's like, we'll see what happens. There's a tournament coming up. I do think that so far all the cards he's played have been modern legal. So I think that it might be safer, a little bit more comfortable to play this deck in a modern format than in a legacy format.
Yeah, I could see that.
That being said, I do think that modern is actually faster than legacy at the moment. And if you look at how big Greg's deck is, it's getting a little small.
Yeah, he's... by my count, he's lost at least 20 cards or so to mill and casting stuff, so he's running low. And there's a Tome Scour, too.
Tome Scour. That's going to mill Greg for 5 here if Greg doesn't want to counter it. And I think Greg's in the ballpark of like 25 or so cards here, is what I'm estimating.
Seems about right.
He's got a pretty large exiled graveyard from that Scavenger Grounds. Greg's going to count really quick. It actually might be smaller than I thought. It's like 10. Wow, he's like not even
about
20
left, yeah.
I think he's like just shy of 20 right now. I think he's underneath that line.
Yep, here we go.
Oh,
One
there's a Saheeli.
There's
That
a
would have been
second
game for
Saheeli.
Greg, yeah.
Yep.
Jace.
And a Jace the Mind Sculptor also could have helped lock this thing down.
Yeah, definitely. And so Kurtis might just be like 2 more Jace's erasures away from winning this game.
Yeah.
And he's also got that land, so this actually might be a little bit closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, this was not the outcome I was predicting either.
Greg's realizing the pressure just a little bit. He's got to find a close. I mean, like, he's in pretty solid shape, but even still, it could be a little spooky. 2 lands go back with the Brainstorm. That's clean equity.
Yeah.
Imagine he's just going to pass here after playing a land. We do know that he just put 2 lands back, so he definitely has fetchable targets for these lands. Looks like he's just going to do it now. I think he might... Oh, skip over the plateau. Can't fetch that one with the Flooded Strand. Oh, actually, wait, you can.
Well, yeah, you can.
You can't with the Polluted Delta, which that land does not.
I think he might actually try to drop the snap that he got this turn and flash something back, especially if he's going for another Ponder from the yard.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a Brainstorm. I saw him deploy that fetch land, and I think that you probably want to hold back the fetch up until the point you need to play it. Especially if you're going to play Brainstorm. I just want more cards in my hand when I Brainstorm. I'd rather not play a land before I Brainstorm than after.
That's true, yeah.
So here's that Brainstorm. Dig deep for Greg, finds a Ponder, finds a Baleful Strix, and I believe that's a third card as a land.
Nope, that's a Saheeli.
Oh, it's a Saheeli. So Greg is kicking himself for going to the combat step and doing this post-combat.
Yep.
All of his spells were instant speed, so...
Yeah. That does mean, though, even if he could do this now, he probably actually is better off holding off until next turn. Kurtis isn't running any discard, and he wants to be able to hold up Force and whatever other interaction that he can, because he knows Kurtis has some sort of counter magic.
I agree that if we're in this spot and Greg has already gone to combat, you don't want to play the Saheeli this turn, but if he had done all this pre-combat, he could have won that turn.
Oh, yeah,
so.
definitely. Yeah.
What I'm hoping happens is Kurtis draws Sanity Grinding here and just gets really lucky, because I would love to see Greg lose this game. That would be so exciting. Looks like a no. I think that's the enchantment that mills 2 every turn.
Every blue spell you cast.
Oh, is it on blue spells? Gotcha.
I think so.
Sadly, we are running out of gas, so Kurtis, sadly, probably not going to be able to trigger that even once this game.
Yep.
I think Greg's going to be going to the combat step with an infinite number of meows.
Yep. Bring on the Meountain of Cats.
The Meountain of Cats. Here we go. Greg's going to have to explain this combo really quick, and because the cards are not in English, he's going to have to also explain what the cards do.
Yep. Yeah, so this combo is the one famously missed in Standard and got the cat banned.
Yes.
Using Saheeli to make a copy of the cat copy comes in, copies Saheeli, or flickers Saheeli.
Yeah, flickers Saheeli.
Yeah, flickers Saheeli, which Saheeli then uses to make another copy of the cat.
Yep.
Wash, rinse, repeat till you have thousands of cats. Attack with cats.
Yeah. In this case, Kurtis is at 10, so it'd have to be, I think, at least 6 cats? 5
Yeah,
cats?
I think it was 6 cats, because 2 snaps, 2 cats, so swinging in with all of them, just 4 more cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Greg uses FBB duels, short for Foreign Black Border. What set is it? I believe it's revised or Black Border in a few different languages, because it was the first time they were printed.
Yeah, revised or Renaissance is the other one.
Revised or Unlimited, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which one FBBs are from, but they're a little bit pricier than just White Border duels by not quite 100%, but kind of in that ballpark, 75, 80%, I'd say.
Yeah.
But they come in black borders because it's the first time they've been printed, while being far more affordable than black bordered English duels, which are only in alpha and beta. So
they had a much larger print run in Europe to try and give them.
Well, it was later on. You know what I mean? Like
later on, they could actually have a decent supply chain.
Well, it's just like Unlimited was printed more than alpha and beta, and if Unlimited is black bordered in a different language, there's more of that than there are of English beta duels.
Yeah. Looks like I saw him bringing in engineered explosives and some red elemental blasts.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Definitely, Greg is a little bit worried about some of those attrition cards. The aura or the enchantment that mills every turn is pretty strong.
I think he also brought in, I want to say there were some Cabal therapies, which seems like a very bold choice against a deck that's running so much. To put it.
I don't know. So the nice thing about decks like this Grixis deck, it's got a lot of Thoughtseize. It's got a lot of hand disruption already, so you're not necessarily making uneducated guesses.
That's true.
It's pretty easy to know what they're doing, and the deck, any deck with Baleful Strix, I think is so close to being able to play Cabal Therapy just intrinsically. Yeah. So we'll have to see how that goes. And versus a mill deck, you can expect you to get yourself to get milled, and if you get milled past a Cabal Therapy, it's like you get a free Cabal Therapy flashback. So
Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
the cost there is pretty low, and the reward is quite high.
Oh, I
Our
think he's.
Cardboard Live extension shows a Pauper deck.
Oops.
Ah, well, we
That's
had.
leftover from the Rags to Riches tournament, I believe.
I think it's probably from CVM. The
Oh.
tournaments are a lot harder to set up the CBL integrations because people have to like manually upload the decks.
Yeah, yeah.
But if just one person streaming on the account, which I'm pretty sure that CVM was streaming early. I think he streams on Tuesdays. It's either Tuesdays or Mondays. Wait, today's Monday. It's either Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, one of those days. Yeah.
And it's probably the deck he was playing. I'm not 100%, and I honestly don't even know how to log into Cardboard Live or the Twitch website on this computer. It's just broadcasting to the endpoint, which is not necessarily something that you need to be logged in to do. So that's definitely something that our admin team would have to handle. And
We're going to be able to look at it after this round.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We got our judges hanging out over there by themselves. Maybe I'll ask them.
The Cardboard Live extension is still running and showing a Pauper deck.
Yeah, I don't know how to log into the Twitch, but it's like probably somewhere in there needs to get disabled. I don't know if you guys would know how to do that, but unrelated to that, but also our audio cut out.
Yeah, the headphones
Between
aren't.
us, so we can't hear each other. But the stream's picking it up. So.
Yeah. Oh, I heard something pop, but not quite.
Test.
Hey. Wait. Say something.
Yeah. So we're just
I can hear
shuffling
you,
between games.
but I can't hear me.
Okay, I can't hear you either. So can't hear Patrick, but the stream's picking him up. So
probably.
That's
good.
good.
Definitely. Well, all right.
But yeah,
Rolling
we'll figure
into
that
game
out.
2. Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up, Bear. We may or may not fix that, depending on how complicated it is to fix.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't really have the mech suit ready for me to jump into to solve that problem.
Not quite yet. Rolling into game 2. I didn't even pay attention to what Kurtis was bringing in here.
I didn't really get to see. He's been playing the cards pretty close to the chest. It's been tough to see what he's got going on over there.
Trying to think, if I was running that deck, what sort of things would I have in the sideboard to bring in? Maybe a back to basics would be nice. If you're running a monocolored deck, it's nice to have that in there.
Based on the time frame of the cards that Kurtis has access to in his main deck, I don't think that back to basics is necessarily going to be a sideboard option for him.
I doubt that is. I'm agreeing with you on that point, definitely. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see one, but definitely would help him in this case.
Yeah, so Kurtis is going to be on the play here if he so chooses. I mean, it's his option. Let's see what he decides.
I think because he's looked at his hand, he's definitely on the play.
Yeah. Starting out with an op, taking a peek at his cantrip, taking a peek at his top of the library with cantrip. One of the softer cantrips, but, you know, it's acceptable.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, when I've gone through the list of, like, what are all of the cantrips I need for, like, heavy combo decks, it's 4th on the list, but it's still on the list. Like, depending on what kind of deck, there are some rare times I might run it over Ponder just because it's instant speed. Well, actually, probably not over Ponder, but definitely over Preordain.
Yeah, makes sense. So Greg is going to find, with this Ponder, it looks like he's going to pick up a Flusterstorm and another land. I think the other 2 cards are land, so he can angle those 2 however he wants to decide which one he wants. Let's see. Well, we are going to do a little bit of infrastructure work, see if we can disable the Cardboard Live tool. Extensions.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my extension's on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tech support.
Ooh.
Deactivate. All right. Hopefully that works. Yep. Oh, wow. So we just got the metagame breakdown. So at first I saw the 3 things at the bottom, and I thought that the one line of text that I saw on the right half of the sheet was the deck list we had, but it's actually totally filled in. I thought you only got one, and then you gave us the motivational messages.
I tried my hardest.
You did. It was good. It's good. It's
really
good.
Did.
Cardboard Live should be good. Let me know. Sweet. We believe so. All right, so let's see. Sorry, we are back in the game now that we have all of the internet browser stuff off. Another Thought Scour. So this is actually one of my favorite mill cards because it replaces itself. Huge upswing, even though it doesn't mill anywhere near as much. This is Will. I see. I still don't hear Patrick, but besides that.
Yeah. I hear him. That's fine. I hear Josh.
I don't hear Patrick. Yeah.
I can hear both of you just fine on the screen.
Yep. Yeah, I see us both picking up, so.
Yeah.
It just disappeared for me.
Hooray! We
Right.
did it.
So
Internet.
we got another Jace's Mill spell, and this one's gonna get Flusterstormed. I gotta explain Storm really quick.
Which is always fun.
Really just a powerful mechanic. I actually really like the design of Flusterstorm, top down.
I think, yeah, Flusterstorm is it's a way to make a storm card that's actually moderately balanced. The only thing they did wrong with Flusterstorm was originally just printing it in the commander set for like 2 years when everyone wanted it.
Yeah. I honestly, for a while, I thought it just was printed in Scourge. Like,
Yeah.
never looked. I just figured everybody liked the EDH version because it's cheaper, and most people play with the Judge foil version. So, not most people, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But now it's got EMA foil, so far better.
Indeed.
Oh, there is Hymn to Torok in this deck. Wow, I didn't realize.
I
Okay.
think that might have been what I saw come in from the sideboard.
Oh, there's a sideboard option. I see.
Yep.
This is certainly one of my favorite cards to resolve.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Test.
Oh, I can hear stuff.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you, Patrick.
Ah,
We just unplugged and plugged a bunch of different things back in while that Hymn to Torok resolved.
yeah. Hit an opt, and I missed what the other one was.
Got the Mill Desert coming down.
Another attempted Mill 7 card.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Can resolve this time.
3 lands.
Attack the deck.
Snap, Wear Tear. Yeah. Jason Mice Sculptor and a Force.
Oh, nice.
That's, yeah.
That's exactly what Greg's looking for.
Yeah. Having the Wear Tear in the yard is going to be super useful. Missing the Jace is a bit sad. Not having as much of a card advantage engine or a fate-stealing lockout piece is going to be a pain.
Definitely. Greg, of course, also doesn't really have a clock. He really wants to figure out how he's going to close out this game. He's got a Saheeli in hand, so he's a Felidar Guardian away from winning, and he's pretty sure that both the creature and the Planeswalker will be able to stick around, so he's not too worried about losing either one.
Yeah, and I think he's got a bit of counter magic in hand too, to help protect there. Something popped in my ears.
I do not hear anything at all
I
anymore.
also now hear nothing. Yep. Oh.
I think we're still getting picked up, though.
Yeah. The mics are still working, which is great.
I think it's just the output back to the headphones that's disrupted at the moment. I just have one ear in, so I can hear, but...
Yeah.
We have these cushy headphones, so I want to wear them.
It's so nice. It's been some real stream quality of life upgrades. Or quality of tech, I guess I should say.
I was really excited to see Greg play this deck and just like grind another Grixis deck to the ground with it.
This is a different kind of grinding, though.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Certainly is. Got another mill land coming down for Kurtis. Looks like one's going to get activated here, Sorcery Speed, so I think that's another 4.
Yeah, it should be 4. There's the cat, but he's got a K command in hand.
Greg has access to K command here, so he's going to be able to Kolaghan's command that back on the end step. Then he's 2 turns away from winning, I believe. There's the K command.
Yep.
Getting back the cat or the snap? Oh, he's going even longer. Wow, that's risky.
Yeah,
Kurtis has a response. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have a response. He's just discarding an island. Okay, so Greg is taking this line because he wants to run Kurtis out of cards.
And then he just top decks a cat. Of course. That's the real play right there.
Certainly one of the hallmarks of playing combo decks is drawing the card you need the turn you need it.
Exactly.
So Greg doesn't have lethal this turn, even though he could have deployed the Saheeli far long ago. Would she do like Scry 1, ping something? Is that right?
Scry 1, deal 1 damage to each opponent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Greg's going to uptick there. And he's got lethal on the following turn. Kurtis doesn't have mana up.
Yep.
Which looks like Kurtis is going to tap himself out of cancel.
Get another mill hit here.
Finds a Pyroblast. That's a good mill.
And a force. Yeah. That's 2 forces down, 1 in hand. If it wasn't for the fact that Greg has the win in hand, it'd be that'd be a pretty happy 4 cards to see milled there.
Yeah, definitely. Sadly, this game not going to go very long, I do not think. Not much longer. And here's the combo. Make an infinite number of tokens.
Yep.
Attack you with an infinite number of tokens.
There's not like a 2-mana sleep he could have, because if so, that'd be sweet.
Looks like it's
Another
going to be
island.
another island. Yep,
Nice.
and that will be match going to Greg.
Yeah, that'll be Greg taking it in match number 1.
All
Want me to
right.
go hunt for a backup match?
Yeah, let's
All right.
let's go down for just a second. We're gonna try
Yeah.
and get some of the audio things figured out. So yeah, that was round 1. We're gonna try and find you a backup match. We got like
Yeah.
20 minutes-ish left in the round, so should probably be able to find
Should
one.
be able to
If
get
not,
something.
I know Greg has 2 Kenlander decks, so we'll probably be able to get that on camera.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna be right back after we fix some of the audio issues on our end. I don't think it should be affecting you guys, but it's really distracting for me.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back with more backup.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the booth, guys. So we got a backup match, and we don't have a BRB screen, so I was just updating everything live for you guys to watch.
Yep.
But we got the players moving to the feature match area now, so let's head down to the match.
Sweet.
All right. Hopefully,
we have
I
to save. Yep.
now need to save it. Bam! Look
There
at
we
that.
go. Surprise!
I filled everything in.
Yep. I know. So Talia's already on a Mulda 6.
Yeah.
Caught him just a little bit late as she was getting wrapped up there and getting to go.
Resolving mulligans, but willing to hop to the feature match area.
Yep.
Looks like Talia doesn't want to keep that hand. So I thought I saw a Veteran Explorer. I don't think I saw a green source, though.
Yeah, that looked like swamp, fetch. Well, the fetch could have gotten it, but no way to sack.
I thought it was just a swamp. I just saw one land, so I might be wrong, though. I might have been wrong.
Yeah. I didn't get a good look, but yeah. Talia's on probably my favorite variant of Nickfit right now. The double Rector package, the 8 Rector Nickfit.
Yeah. A lot of top-end stuff to find, and I feel like this matchup versus Tin Fins, it's a lot more important to just find some disruption.
Yeah.
So I think the Veteran Explorer Cabal Therapy interaction pile is really all you're looking for, and anything else on top of that is just icing on the cake. Oof. So I think that's the Dryad Arbor.
And an Assassin's Trophy. And
the Lingering Souls. Oof, brutal. Yeah. She's going down to 4. I mulliganed so much over the weekend, so...
Yeah.
I mulliganed to 4 twice and 3 once.
Oof. I have, playing this Nickfit list, I have won off of a mulligan to 4 before. I don't think I've had to go any deeper than that.
Yeah. The deck certainly still can execute. I mean, it's another one of those decks where you need like specific number of checkboxes checked off and don't have any cantrips, so you just like need to maximize the number of opportunities to see those. But if your opening hand has everything you need, it's in fantastic shape to win.
Yeah, especially because this version of Nickfit, there are some spells that are just not castable.
Yeah.
There's the Omniscience that you have to get out with Academy Rector. There's Nicol Bolas, either Planeswalker or God Pharaoh, one of the two.
So for a 4, that looks fantastic.
That's a pretty good 4.
Rector, 2 forests, and then I can't remember the name. Survival? That's not survival. It's a new survival.
That's the fixed survival. Living Wish on top too.
Yeah. Okay. Living Wish gets a land
natural,
here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Living Wish for probably the Phyrexian Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Oh, yeah, I guess she would have to have like a Savannah or a Scrubland in her sideboard to be able to grab for it.
Well,
I forgot.
actually, no, Caracas.
Oh, yeah.
Runs Caracas in the sideboard.
Yeah, that's probably what you should get here. It's also really good in this matchup specifically. So, and it looks like Kent's actually just going to go off. We're going to start out with a Dark Ritual Lotus Petal.
So many dice.
Talia's just going to pull out her phone. He's like, yeah, go for it. Have fun.
There's the giant, like, F6 piece of paper to just lay out on your playmat.
Yeah.
Storm at 2.
Black mana at 3, red at nothing. All right. So we got 3 mana in the pool. Another Dark Ritual. Okay, 5 mana up.
Yep. Starting to see the rest of Kent's hand.
There's an Entomb. And then I didn't think that he had a reanimation target, or a reanimation spell in his hand, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
There's the Grizzly Bee.
Grizzly Bees.
Is it just me, or is the 2020 on the life pad like astronomically tiny?
Oh, it's very tiny.
Like, it's like.
I think someone probably tapped a button to be like, switch between different apps.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. That would certainly do it.
Yep.
That would make that occur.
Crack the Petal for red.
Oh, Burning Wish.
Yeah. There's how you get
the old sideboard reanimation spell. That's what you do.
Yeah, I guess that way you can run a full, like, 12 good reanimation, 11 good reanimation spells or something like that.
Here's an Exhume, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
All right, and now I'm going to cast the Exhume. Costs 2 mana, though. Oh, you had 3, though.
Yeah, you had 3. Just down to 1 black left.
Yeah,
That's enough to do stuff.
That's more than enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just tiny.
Okay, it's just tiny.
It's just tiny.
Gristlebrand costs 8, not 7.
That's an Exhume, so Exhume doesn't deal damage. The 7 is from drawing 7 cards.
Got it.
Yeah, people often forget about that. I've had people reanimate a Gristlebrand at like 13 to 15 range, and then not be able to draw 7 with it, and I'm like, oh, that's threatening.
Yep.
I'm a lot less terrified than I would be if you just drew 14 cards.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better. Oh, there's another dig.
Drink deep and descend.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh,
hey, it's full
we
size
fixed
now.
it. That's too bad. I thought it was really funny that it was small.
Tiny light.
Not sure why it happened, but...
Hey, there we go.
There's a zoom button in the corner.
Did hit the zoom button?
In the corner of this iPad. And
Why? Why does it? Okay, that's a
Why not?
question for another day.
Let's ask Tim Apple.
Yeah, Tim Apple can tell us.
We've got an unmask getting fired off, and Kent's just playing all his cards on the table, being like, I still got a whole lot of things. Oh, he's targeting himself. I'm dumb.
Why would he? Oh yeah, to get another reanimation. Yeah, there's the children.
He's going to sacrifice some children now.
Yep.
Avert your eyes.
As is tradition.
One of my favorite lines of text in the game. Sacrifice children. Anyone who says that this game does not give you or like have demonic influences clearly has not played competitive Magic.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to use this demon to sacrifice some children.
Yeah. Truly living the world of a true magician.
My favorite line right now. I want to at some point play Greg when he's on cat combo, so I can use Assassin's Trophy to kill the Felidar Guardian, and it can be a catastrophe.
Yeah. Ooh, that's catastrophic.
Yes. All right. back up to 20.
Yeah, so I think it's 15 life this turn. I think they can fetch this turn. Maybe not.
No, he did not. I don't think there was a fetch.
I think you're right. I think he just led with the scrub land.
Yeah.
So there's a Crystal Brand in play, LED getting activated, hand getting discarded.
Yep, nothing there that was useful.
It's kind of on the line. I feel either way on it.
Yeah.
I think there's no ill intention behind it, and that's one of the big things.
Yep.
It's just how Magic players talk sometimes.
It's true. It's very true.
All right, let's see.
Another LED.
Yep, another Burning Wish.
Yep. Just
That's
Storm
the...
is past 10, so here comes some drills. Yep.
Yeah, I'm cognizant of the joke.
Well, it's a bummer we didn't get to see that Nick Fit deck. I know it inside and out. It's so good.
You also got to see Mulligan 2-4
Yeah.
and get killed on turn 1.
Yep.
Sadly, no ley lines.
Yeah.
There's the two. Oh man, only 2 ley lines, or
There
she just
should
has
be
to find the
4.
rest of them. Okay,
Yeah.
she just has to find the rest of them.
The deck runs 4 ley lines in the sideboard and 1 fairy macabre. Probably brought all of those in.
Yeah, definitely.
I run 3 and 2 so that I can keep an extra fairy macabre in the sideboard.
Yeah.
That I can living wish for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is
yeah, you never want to board in the last one.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Talia's
Yeah.
going to get taken out here in 3 by Kent. We're going to head back to the booth. Welcome back to the booth, my friends. So that was, of course, round 1.
Yep.
We got like 10 minutes left in the round. Going to be kind of tight to find a backup match. Probably not going to happen. Sorry for all of you Legacy addicts. The 2 matches per round isn't enough.
I know. Yeah. You got to, well, we saw a match and a solitaire game there, so.
Yeah, exactly.
This feels pretty good.
Neither match was super interactive. Of round 1s, that was not the most exciting round 1. So.
Yeah.
We'll try and get you more exciting rounds. It's kind of how the cream of the crop works in Magic.
Yeah,
sometimes the earlier rounds have, just more variety in terms of what decks are played.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our list of all of the decks that we've got there. Some ones that are jumping out. There's a Phoenix deck here that's listed. But I have some inside information. It's actually Death's Shadow plus Phoenix.
Okay, so it's a lot more mid-rangey?
Yeah, it's Grixis Phoenix with Death's Shadow. It's funky.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we've got the Tinfoil player we just saw.
I love that blue-white Delver deck. I'm actually thinking about building it. I have all the pieces for it. I literally own the entire deck in various other piles. You know?
Yeah, because it's just like any sort of blue-white blade deck.
Yeah, if you own Blade,
Delvers.
you have it. Yeah. I might play it with Teferis though, because I also have Teferis.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's expensive in a Wasteland deck, but we'll see.
It's not that bad. It runs enough basics, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Give us Funk. I don't know if we have any Funk. I think we got to see the Funk already.
Yeah, we've got a Doomsday deck.
Oh. That's exciting.
Another Death Shadow deck. Someone on Manaless Dredge. Lee is on Post, of course.
Yeah.
Lands.
Oh, Jeff's on the Delver Stifle Knot again.
Ooh.
Where's James Johnson? I don't think he's here today. I think he's. I think he might be working. He was on Thursday. He was playing Legacy on Thursday. I was playing Modern, but. What you want?
There's also just blue-white Legacy deck.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. I thought you were referring to a specific deck, not just me saying the word funky.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even listen to myself, so you gotta keep me in check. Well, I certainly am going to be trying to get those decks on camera.
Yeah.
I think we got 2 Maverick decks, maybe just 1.
Yeah, I see 1 at least.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Just 1. Yep.
Yeah, that Doomsday is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I've seen. Many times people have said that Doomsday is a dead deck when Top was gone, and then when Gitaxian Probe was gone.
Makes it a whole lot harder to win.
I know he's running. At least last week he was running Experimental Frenzy.
Okay.
In the
that lets you
Doomsday
play
deck.
the top cards of your deck, right?
And so
that's
that was
cool.
his solution to being able to get stuff off the top. Was you just drop that before you Doomsday, and then you can go through your Doomsday pile that turn.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. Especially because you can do multiple LEDs, right? Yeah, it's just LED,
and then you're not going to use your hand anyway. So yeah.
LED, Labman, Ponder.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Doomsday Fetch Tendrils is the one that is the
Doomsday
version that's dead.
Fetch Tendrils. Man, these shortcut names sometimes are outside of my comprehension.
I've done research.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could see that rabbit hole gets very big very quick. So
oh yeah, I still don't even remember the full story. There's there's contradictory stories to the names behind some of the older decks.
yeah,
too.
I mean, just look at the discussion between Nick Fit. Ooh, I just got some audio.
Ooh, yay! I got audio too.
Maybe not.
No, I've got more audio.
I've got like the white noise, so I think I now am getting any. Yeah.
Oh, am I?
No. Well, I think that it's like before it wasn't having any like feedback noise at all, and now it's got like a little bit of. No, it's not like feedback. It's just like the sound of
Some
there
area
being.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, when you put on noise canceling headphones and it sounds different than when you just have nothing on. So I'm not hearing him at all though.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, wait, maybe. All right.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. All it took was a nice round one to get everything sorted out there. Yeah.
The future of technology has allowed us to hear each other when we sit right next to each other.
Wow, technology.
Has it gone too far? When will it stop?
Or has it not gone too far enough?
It's gone twice as many as too far as it never had.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah. So we only got a few minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
Maybe we can try and get Canlander. I don't know. I honestly think there's only like 1 or 2 matches still playing. So
Yeah.
just wondering how many matches are left.
We have 4 matches.
4 matches left.
Four
Okay.
matches. 4 matches. 4 minutes. Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Hopefully none of them go to time and take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is Jordan in the room? Sadly, I don't think he made it tonight.
I didn't see him.
Give
I
us Jordan.
didn't see him. Didn't hear him.
Yeah. I haven't heard him. I
yeah.
wasn't sure, which told me no. Usually you can tell if Jordan's here because he's like over here talking to the casters in the stream. Not always, but sometimes.
Very frequently.
Sometimes it's a 3-person cast. He just pulls up a chair, sits down, and starts casting too.
Yeah. That's how I. So this is technically my first time casting, but there was the freak snowstorm about a month ago.
Oh yeah.
When everyone was scrambling to set the stream up, and it was the last round I got the bye because my opponent left without notifying the judge.
Sounds about right.
And as I was walking by, I'm like, Jordan, you've been solo casting this whole time. Do you want me to just sit down and relieve you a bit? And he's like, sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
Still the Jordan Isaka show.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Any TET in the room or Yuriko Ninjas? I don't think that the Wallios are here, and I've never seen anybody else play Yuriko.
I ran Yuriko for a bit in one of my Nickfit lists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I take it back.
Just a one of,
Yeah.
but still, yeah.
Okay. I take it back.
But no, I don't see any. I don't see any ninjas in the list.
And I'm not sure what TET is.
Uh,
TET. Tendrils eat Taganies. I don't know.
Tendril time.
The Epic Thief.
Oh.
Is it Storm with Yuriko? Interesting.
No, Epic Thief is probably a Dak Faden related thing, because that's the old Punishing Thieves. Was, I think it's a. Oh no, the Thief of Sanity list. That's right. It's blue-black Delver, except you cut out all the Delvers and you just put in Thieves of Sanity.
Oh, okay.
That's literally the only difference in the deck.
Interesting. Okay, all right.
It seems sweet though.
Yeah.
Just ripping cards from your opponent.
It's an attrition engine, right? Like you just get access to what's the blue-white dragon that does that for yourself with hexproof while it's untapped. Then it attacks. Then you impulse.
It's one of the Ojitais.
Yeah, Dragon Lord Ojitai, I think.
Yeah, Dragon Lord Ojitai.
It does that, but for your opponent's deck, right?
Yes.
And you can use any color to cast spells. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I think it's proving that the Delver shell doesn't necessarily depend on Delver.
Yeah.
That just blue-black control with about 10 creatures is what you need, and put some pressure on your opponent and call it good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you basically try and set up scenarios back where old blue control decks would just play. What's the counterspell with buyback? Forbid. You just play Forbid and then hit them with the Ophidian, so you draw multiple cards, and then literally they can't resolve a spell for the rest of the game because you'll just always be able to pay the buyback. They have to play a card that has graveyard interaction, or can cast from the graveyard or something like that to get out of it.
Yeah.
The good old days, as I like to call it.
Oof. Yeah, the Thoughtseize into Lily of the Veil with Thief to back up.
Yeah, it's certainly good. It's not bad. I'll have to pick some up. I have all the other pieces for that deck, so I can
Yeah,
probably
you
build
just
that
need
too.
you just need the thieves. That's about it. Yeah.
That being said, I bet foil Thieves of Sanity are going to be not worthwhile to buy is the problem.
Maybe like wait like 2 years when they
Yeah.
rotate out, and then you can pick them up on the cheap. but-
Exactly, yeah. As long as it doesn't become like a modern staple in that time frame. Because that's what happens. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'll just wait on that card, and then it's Bitter Blossom, and you're like, oh. You're supposed to be $5.
Yeah. That's always the thing. I'm like, oh, I can wait till Assassin's trophies get cheaper, and then I'm like, oh, they're never getting cheaper.
No, that's only going up.
Yeah. Too good of a card. Well, not too good of a card, but good enough of a card that it's always going to see play.
Yeah, exactly. It'll always be desirable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was time in the round. I heard the judge also saw it. That means that we're like almost in perfect sync with the actual round timer.
Yeah, he was
Rarely
mentioning,
happens.
He was mentioning his approach was to press both buttons at the same time.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Good strategy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is time, and I think there's probably 1-2 matches left, Will. How many? 2? Yeah, he's giving me 2. I'm going to go confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people playing Blue-Black Ninjas, and so when I saw TET, I was like, is that related, unrelated? And it's kind of related.
Oh, 3 matches.
3 matches left. Oof.
Judge has
One more than expected.
Oh, yeah. Spellseeker, I think, is a drastically underplayed card right now.
Yeah, I think that the problem is that there's not really any spells that are like super solid to get. Like you don't really need a toolbox. It's like, oh, I'll get a Ponder, I'll get a Brainstorm, I'll get a Hymn to Torok. Like it's not that these spells are bad. It's that they don't like. They're just kind of spells you play on curve. They're not spells that like having a 3-mana rider of making a Spellseeker is relevant, and that's kind of why it hasn't gotten picked up as much. Is because like most spells are not really worthwhile to spend an extra 3 mana on in Legacy because so many spells are like
cheap and good.
Yeah, meant to be brutally efficient at 1 mana. So like it costing 4 times as much and only doing 1 mana worth of stuff is tough.
High Tide is the deck where I think they want Spellseeker because they just want more ways to find High Tides.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Luckily, nobody's playing High Tide, so.
Yeah. Yep. It always comes back to High Tide.
How does it not? That's what happens when you play Reset. You know what, Bear? That is like literally exactly my opinion. It doesn't have Death Touch and it doesn't cost 2 mana. Still just waiting for the round to finish. Yeah. I think Spellseeker like is one of those cards that like feels way better than it actually like is in practice. And I think that's the problem with Legacy is a lot of these cards like it's really easy to have really high aspirations and think about these cards in like the best case scenario where it's like exactly what you need and barely wins you the game, and then it's really hard to think about the 80 other games that you lose because you just played a 3-mana Spellseeker and got a cantrip.
Yeah. It's I was recently trying out a Simic Ascendancy-based Nickfit deck, which was really promising the first couple of games I played it, and I ended up with my one-of Galloping Lizarog getting like a 105, and
just
trying to beat face with it. It was great. It never performed that well ever again.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like Legacy, this is also true in Modern. In like a lot of the matchups, you're just like so far under the gun that like you need things now. You need it right now, this second. And if you play cards that don't provide that up front, like you're really far behind really quickly.
Yeah.
And when you're behind, those cards are atrocious. So it's they look bad in your opening hand, they feel bad in the mid range, and they like don't really win you many things in the late game. So
So how about that banned and restricted announcement today of nothing?
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope for Stoneforge Mystic. Really, what
Modern?
I hope. Yeah, really what I hope happens is that Stoneforge Mystic is printed in Modern Horizons, and that's how they like. Because they said that they're not printing any like Modern legal cards, like they're not reprinting any cards unless the card is now being printed for the first time in Modern.
Yeah.
And I think it would be like just a really funny mind game if they printed Stoneforge Mystic, because they're like, look, see, it's on Modern, and then we printed it, and now it's in Modern.
I mean, yeah. I would wonder if they try to print like a slightly less oppressive Stoneforge Mystic-like card. Sort of how they did like a spin on Cabal Therapy. They have Cabal Therapist.
Yeah, I think Cabal Therapist is pretty much unplayable though. But
Oh, yeah,
flavor-wise, definitely, I can see where that's coming from. But like going turn 2 Young Pyromancer, turn 3 Cabal Therapy twice is not something you can do in Cabal Therapist land. It's only Cabal Therapy land. It's not necessarily oppressive, and that's makes the card not very exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm tempted to see if there's if there's some way to use Cabal Therapist in Legacy in some sort of Nick Fit heavy sacrificing deck where you want to be sacrificing almost all of your creatures.
Yeah, the thing is you getting that effect once per turn is like not exciting.
Once per turn isn't very exciting, but using it to be able to like rip apart hands repeatedly
I guess it's another one of those things where like the card like you need so many turns to take advantage of the effect that it's like you need things up front, you're under the gun, and it does nothing until 4 turns after you play it, and then you're like finally starting to gain equity off of it, and that's just not really what I want out of a creature.
Yeah, because you play it on turn 1, you could use it to sack itself on turn 2, because it's at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. Yeah. Yeah, the timing restrictions really hamper that card. But there might be some way to tweak with it, Pernicious Deed for Modern, I think, is a very safe bet.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's like more color restricted, but slightly better engineered explosives.
I think that engineered explosives cost less mana on average.
That's true.
Like I play engineered explosives on 1 almost always.
Yeah, that's true.
There are cases where I play it in 2, but I like board it in expecting to play it on 1. And yeah. I think that I do like new cards. I just like new cards that I'm impressed by, and I feel like my card evaluation is just very jaded. I just imagine like drawing that like in any iteration of like the I imagine drawing Cabal Therapist in like any iteration of the red-black Mardu Pyromancer deck, and it just seems glacial. And like that has to be the best deck for it, right? Like
probably, yeah.
Almost upfront, the deck that like I'm already playing Lingering Souls with my Young Pyromancer. Like what other deck does it fit into? And it's like I don't think it's good enough for that deck. So
yeah. I don't think your card evaluation is jaded. I think you're just more realistic, and I'm much more optimistic.
Realistic, jaded, matter of perspective.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Saying realistic makes it feel like I'm right, and you know I might be right, but
I very much always overestimate how good cards are going to be. Every once in a while I'm right. Like when I saw Hydroid Crisis, I'm like, this is going to be a good card.
Yeah. It's like really hard to see a card's good scenarios, but it's like really hard to see a card's bad scenarios, and so I just always think of bad scenarios first. Round
one's over?
Round one's over.
Yay!
All right.
A turn, you know?
That happens sometimes, you know? Sometimes you got to really go in the tank.
Yeah. Dig deep, tough choices.
Yeah. So yeah, we are getting pairings for round 2 any minute now, so we'll be able to bring you some more Legacy. I've heard, Counterspell might get printed. I think Counterspell is probably not too powerful for Modern. It's certainly on the cusp. Yeah. I've also heard, I think this is sick, I don't have any confirmation or anything, but I think it would be cool if, like, the Assassin's Trophy effect got added to a counterspell. Like, how good is counter target spell? Its controller can like search the library for land, put it into play tapped, and that also makes me wonder. Like, is there ways you can push the power level of that card a little bit and still have it be acceptable at 2 mana? Like, it's counter target spell, exile it. Like, big it a land. Is that too powerful? Like, I'm trying to figure out where I think that line is because.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I hadn't heard that as an idea, but I think that would be cool. And then the next question comes. What colors is it?
Yeah.
Is it just going to be blue-blue? Because blue-blue doesn't usually give lands to an opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, though, my personal bet for what's definitely going to be in Modern Horizons is Daze.
Yeah.
I think Daze makes a lot of sense to print.
Wow, that's aggressive. Well, I don't think that they're going to print a free counterspell.
Yeah, so my thoughts on why are probably just because of the free counterspells, it's sort of the safest one. There's already a handful of free... I think it's the safest because it's the most you can play around, and it does the most to slow down the format a little bit as a safety valve without putting a hard stop on a lot of aggressive combo decks. And I think Modern is trending to be faster than they want it to be, and I think Daze would be a decent way to slow it down just a bit.
The thing is I don't think Daze slows it down. Daze is not a control card. Daze is a tempo card for aggro decks. It's so like a lot of people are mentioning Death Shadow in chat, and that just sounds like a nightmare. Like, turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Daze is super oppressive versus almost everything. Somebody mentioned foil. I think that's far more reasonable. We don't even
foil
have Gush,
probably.
so I don't even
Yeah.
think it's very good. All right. Oh, we got pairings. All
Yep.
right.
All right.
So let's try and get. What should we try and get? So we got. There's a couple decks I was thinking about picking up earlier.
There was
What were the decks that I called sick? Or called funky?
well, Doomsday's lost around 1.
Oh yeah, should we try and get Phoenix on there?
Yeah, let's get
Alley versus
Matt
who are they
Saxon.
playing? Matt Saxon. Esper Blade.
Stoneblade?
That's fine with me. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
so
get
let's do table
9. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them got the draw in round 1, but yeah, that's fine. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, table 9. Yeah. Oh. It's Allie's last name. There you go. Dark Phoenix, because it's got the
Dark
Grixis.
Phoenix. Right.
It's like Death Shadow Phoenix.
That's Esper. Esper Blade.
Yeah. Esper Blade.
Eggs per blade. All right, gotten that information filled out, and then we should be able to head down to the match here any second now.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us, my good friends, while
Yeah.
we get more legacy action injected directly into your bloodstream.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we got a little swapperoonie.
Yes.
Oh, I'll let you drive. Me and Will are both controlling the computer at the same time.
Fighting for it. Yeah, there we go.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
And he did it. He did it. We're right on time. Yeah.
Right on time. Yeah, look at that.
Yep, we got him.
That's not how you spell any of these words. I don't know where that letter came from. All right. So yeah, the players are just getting set up while we update the stream.
Yeah. Whew. But yeah, so I talked to Allie earlier, and they were talking how this is the first night playing this sort of Death Shadow plus Arclight Phoenix deck.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this deck crop up a little bit in Modern sometimes. There's a little bit of fringy stuff that people will do. And I think that the shells of both decks are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
It's cool because like a lot of the pay life for spells are really, really good when you're trying to maximize the number of spells you play per turn, and also trying to get your life total low for Death Shadows. So like getting to attack from a few different angles is nice. I actually saw Dan play this deck. Dan Wynn played this deck a few times. To very unexciting success. He didn't really like the deck. He's far more of an Elves pilot, so we'll see how Allie does. They certainly play far more combo decks. I think I've lost to him twice on Storm. Can't remember.
They've also played Burn a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just like super affordable. So if you're just getting into Modern, like Burn is kind of one of the go-to decks.
There's that whole giant chart of like start with Burn and then you can pivot into like Blue-Red Delver for X amount of dollars and it spiders out from there as to like
definitely.
most like easiest upgrades.
Yeah, once you pick up your Scalding Tarns for Burn, then it's pretty easy to build some of the blue decks.
Yeah. Note to self: get some Scalding Tarns.
Yeah, you might have missed the boat on that one. You might have to wait till it gets reprinted.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad I picked up. So I only have 2 foil Scalding Tarns right now. I picked both of them up when they were underneath 100. So now the regular ones are over 100. I just feel like I made something right there because I remember back when Scalding Tarns were $10 cards. Okay.
It
was dirt cheap.
I'm super sad I didn't play during Zendikar.
Yeah,
so much stuff.
It was cheaper to get enemy fetches than allied fetches.
Yeah, I took a break between original Ravnica and Innistrad, where I just didn't play a whole ton. And now I'm regretting it.
Yeah. I think to solve Modern, they don't need a good card advantage engine. I think that they have those. I think what they need is something proactive that allows them to interact with every deck in the format, and that's That's why control is kind of not putting up results, is because the way you beat Dredge is the way you beat specifically Dredge. The way you beat, Hardened Scales is specifically Hardened Scales. The way you beat Tron is specifically Tron.
Mhm.
There's not really any ways you can really intermingle those, so
Yeah.
you basically, if you draw the wrong cards, you get wrecked.
They've started printing a couple like good sideboard cards that sorta kind of hit two different archetypes. Like there's Damping Sphere, which kind of hits Tron and also hits Storm. And I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more of that in Modern Horizons. That I'm hoping there's a good like 20 or so cards that are just very clearly telegraphed. These are good sideboard cards.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we'll see some of that hate because, especially in Standard, you don't want to print like overly specific graveyard hate when there's no graveyard decks around.
Yeah. You certainly don't want to do it when there's a good graveyard deck either, I don't think.
Yeah.
So both players just going to lead with a fetch land. Let's see what Allie's going to do on their second turn. Looks like we're leading off with a fetch here. Crack that, baby. Crack it!
Crack-a-lackin'.
I feel like there's got to be a way to print a Planeswalker that has some sort of mode effect. That's what I want to see. Not sure how it would work, but...
Yeah.
Because there's some of them, it's like until a creature attacks, or until your next turn, whenever creature attacks, it gets -1, -0. I'm wondering if there's an effect somewhat similar to that you could print.
Yeah, just flying creatures can't attack you, or creatures without flying get minus something else, yeah.
Leading off with a Brainstorm for Allie. They still haven't deployed their second land yet, so easily going to be able to follow this up with a fetch land. And I think that they've got a Dark Ritual in hand, and I think that's a Cabal Therapy on the far right.
Definitely a Cabal Therapy.
So I'm imagining... Ooh, there's also a Buried Alive. So I'm imagining a way to get some Phoenixes into the bin this turn. Which would be a pretty good start. Pretty good start for them.
Yeah.
Not the best. Could have been on turn 1, but, sometimes beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. So even worse, no second land here.
Ooh, yeah.
We're going to see a crack from Matt. Let's see if his cantrip will lead him to New Horizons, or will just lead to a Brainstorm lock.
Probably. Well, hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah, when Lunder's on the play with cantrips are tough. I'm always really anxious about trusting my Brainstorm to find it for me.
Oh, I have been burned too many times. I rarely trust a Brainstorm unless I've got a lot of other 1-drops.
Yeah. I might lead with... if I only have one land, I'd prefer relying on a Ponder than a Brainstorm, because I see more cards off a Ponder, and I don't lock myself after a Ponder.
Yeah. That's fair.
Wow, that looks like a Daze. Oh, well, Allie
Yeah,
already knew that
definitely a
card.
Daze, yeah.
Do they have another cantrip in their hand? I think they have another blue card. I don't know if it's a cantrip or not, though.
Yeah,
It might be another...
I think it's another Brainstorm.
Yeah, it might be another Brainstorm, which after you've been burned once, it's not the most exciting to play another one. It does see 2 more cards than last time. Oh! Allie's saying it's go time. Oh, you know what? Buried Alive shuffles.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of the Brainstorm lock by resolving Buried Alive. That being said, that does require Buried Alive to resolve. So if Allie had a Force of Will back, they'd be in good shape. Oh, they actually have a Daze. They got a Daze. Oh,
Daze
bingo,
does
bango,
it.
bongo. That's even better. So that's the 3rd spell this turn here. That's actually huge for them.
And they get the land back to play, or back to hand, so they can drop another land.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't played a land yet this turn. There's 3 Phoenixes directly into the bin. So, yeah, Matt kind of exposed himself to that. I mean, I don't know if it's right to say he should let the Buried Alive resolve, but that's tough.
Yeah.
Because, 2 spells had already been played, and with Allie only on 1 land, they would have to play 3 spells in the same turn. Don't give a window for 1. That's tough, though. I'm not 100% sure. Haven't played enough against the deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the... if there's anything else.
Did the Days end up back in hand? I don't believe
Nope.
so. I think it's right there underneath the Buried Alive. I think the sequencing got messed up a little bit. Well, actually, the sequencing is a little bit backwards, but it's whatever. It's not that big a deal.
We can check.
I see it underneath the Buried Alive.
No, is that a Ponder? No, that's a Daze. That's a Daze.
Just the one Brainstorm was the only cantrip that Allie played this turn.
Okay.
Or this game. Didn't even play it this turn. Drop the turn for Matt. Finds a Force.
1 turn late on a second Force.
Yeah. Matt led on the Strix, didn't leave it on the Brainstorm, so didn't get to see that extra card. Draws 3.
Spell Pierce and Ponder.
Ponder, Spell Pierce, the 2 spells, and then a land. That's not going to be good enough.
Facing down at least 6 in the air this next turn.
Yeah, Matt really wants to find the Swords to Plowshares ASAP. Imagine 2 lands are going back, crack the fetch, fire off a Ponder, try and find a Swords. If you don't find the Swords, you're in much worse shape, but I think that's pretty much the only line that you really have access to that has any answers this turn.
Especially with Ali having a Cabal Therapy in hand, there's 2 free spells right there. Just need a third, and you're in business.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
and this deck is so low to the ground, so it's pretty easy to have a couple spells. 1 Dark Ritual enables so much.
Yeah, wow.
There's the Ponder.
Yep. Digging deep for some swords. Is that a Council's Judgment?
Yeah, that is super glacial in this scenario.
Yeah.
3 deal with 1 is a lot different than 1 deal with 1. Looks like Matt's going to keep those, so he's going to take 6 here, go to 5. Next turn he'll be able to play the Council's Judgment. And then,
go to 5, maybe lower. We'll see.
Yeah.
See if Ali can pull off 3 spells.
Well, I think if Ali does bring back the Phoenix this turn, then they're guaranteed lethal next turn.
Yes.
Because Matt, we know, does not have access to another removal spell.
And Forceful doesn't really even stop it either, because the spells just need to be cast. They don't even need to resolve.
Exactly, yeah. That's what's so scary about it. And with dazes and stuff, the deck can actually be pretty good at forcing the windows, even with interactive spells, being like, I don't even care about this cantrip, daze it, daze it.
Yeah. Street Wraith to cycle, yeah.
Street Wraith is such a good representation of Modern.
Yeah. Solid card.
It just enables so many weird things. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's like, sure, you can have 8 left, 8 less life, and 4 fewer cards in your deck.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, Matt's going to CJ here and get rid of one of these Phoenixes, but what a glacial answer to this board state.
Yeah.
And this is really what Phoenix is so good at doing, which is presenting 3 Phoenixes and be like, you got to deal with all 3 of these. What you going to do?
Good luck. Good luck, I have 3 burbs. Is that enough for a Gurmag? That's enough for a Gurmag. Gurmag Anklers do not fly, though.
That is correct.
One of the downsides of that over the... I mean, it costing just a single black makes it way better than the demon.
Ooh.
Oh!
The daze from Ali. Matt tried to also daze.
Realized not the free counter in hand. This, though, basically locks Ali out of being able to, unless they top decked a Cabal Ritual, which I don't think they did. Basically, bouncing with the daze locks them out of being able to cast enough spells to get back their second Phoenix and swing in here.
Definitely.
That said, Thoughtseize in hand could pick further apart at the few cards Matt has left. But probably I would bet that Brainstorm I think is there, or it's a Ponder. Either way, some sort of cantrip to dig deeper, find a way. Because at this point, the only thing that Ali is worried about is if their Phoenix that they currently have in play gets destroyed.
Gets dealt with, yeah.
Yeah. And so digging deep to find a way to protect it or get it back is probably goal number 1.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're pretty solidly in the driver's seat at this point, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So they're really just trying to be the best possible scenario that Matt could provide, which admittedly is not very much from this board state. And I think that the Thoughtseize does attack the hand, but Ali knows that Matt didn't play his swords last turn and didn't play his swords the turn before that, and hasn't actually seen any new cards since then.
Yeah.
Both the card that he drew last turn, the card he drew this turn, the card he's about to draw, are all cards he saw off the Ponder. So.
And what do we got?
It's like a
2 Stoneforge Mystics?
Oh, I think you might be right. It might just be double Stoneforge.
Yep.
Which don't have flag.
Womp womp. Yeah, there's no... yeah, there wouldn't have been enough mana to get a Jite, play a Jite, equip a Jite, swing in, get 2 counters, kill the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been... Yeah, or gain 4 life, yeah. Either of those would have been the line, but just not nearly enough mana for that. Bring in all the exiling effects possible.
Yeah, pretty much. Meddling Mage also seems insane.
Yeah.
I think you might also want the Supreme Verdict. I think it's a little slow on the draw, but I think on the play it's totally fine.
Yeah. I think it's a tempting option, especially I know Ali's got forces in the sideboard that might come in. So having an uncounterable sweeper is... there will be times that... There might be a time Matt misses not boarding that in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you are correct.
Let me just... Yeah, I'm not... So, going back to that last game, Matt trying to force... right at the end there when he was at
He
5.
forced the days to get his
Yeah,
Gurmag
to get the
go through.
Gurmag. Yeah, I don't know what what he was hoping to get out of having the Gurmag resolved. Yeah, the Gurmag wasn't going to do anything to keep him alive longer.
Yeah, it does a protect versus the Phoenix.
It does give a bit of a threat, but again, like it's a slower clock than what Ali was putting up.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the force is wrong, but I think that it's one of those things that just doesn't matter. I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
the deck's going to lose no matter what.
Yeah,
so.
the difference between being at 1 and being at 2 when they have a Phoenix about to attack you doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. The deck is always going to deal damage in intervals of 3. Well, I guess because it's Shadow, that's not actually true, but I feel like if Shadow's active, then 1
Then
or
the
2
math
life doesn't
changes.
matter.
Yeah, the math changes drastically too. 4 or 5 life might matter, but
Yeah.
anything less than that, not so much.
Are you at 10 life or are you at 12 life? Because that's usually where the line gets drawn.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Meddling Mage on Buried Alive.
Yeah. That was a thing that occurred back in the day. I remember. I certainly have played Legacy and seen that occur. That used to be just like the best discard outlet. Entomb was banned. Good old days.
Oh, yeah.
And if 1 Entomb is banned, 3 Entombs in a trench coat is probably the best reanimation spell.
Yeah. Because is Buried Alive only creatures?
Yeah.
Though? Yeah.
It's certainly worse than Entomb for a lot of reasons, but
Yeah.
that is one of them. That is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
It makes the list.
Still very powerful in this in the Phoenix list.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that is one of the hardest things for the Phoenix list, for the Phoenix deck, is just getting them into the yard somehow. I have seen the wonderful play of Cabal Therapy yourself. Okay, discard 3 Arclight Phoenixes.
Yeah.
And then you just feel real bad because you know those are coming right back at you.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines that I've seen so far involved sacrificing a Phoenix to a Cabal Therapy to bring it back with the combat step.
Yeah, it's like the it's the advanced, more slow version of the Young Pyromancer tech with Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, the Gataxian Probe and Pyromancer tech. I think there was another Phoenix in the yard, so there was even more equity generated. But yes.
Yeah. All right. See some fresh hands.
We got
I
matchups,
did update it.
but we did it the wrong way.
Oh, did I? Yeah, I did it the wrong way. Ha!
That's what happens when I don't watch.
Yep. It's my first time.
So I think Matt's looking at a 1-lander. No, it's a 3-lander here, a Stoneforge GT Jace, and I think a Snap, which is not the most exciting. Super Glacial.
Way too slow, no way to deal with flyers, no removal.
It doesn't beat 3 Phoenixes on 2, and it doesn't even beat 3 Phoenixes on 3, I don't think.
I will say that Jace's bounce is surprisingly more relevant in this matchup.
I think
Bouncing a Phoenix is maybe like the second safest place to put it after Exile.
Yeah, agree. That being said, it's kind of hard to get to that point, especially if you assume triple Phoenix out of a Buried Alive or something like that. Like, having interaction for that's way more important.
Yeah, definitely.
So looks like we got a Force, a True Name, and a GT in this hand. Yeah, I guess you keep.
Yeah, you've got a clock. That's a Brainstorm, actually.
Oh, it's a Brainstorm? Okay, I thought it was a Force.
A fetch and a Brainstorm. Yeah, I think that's a Caracas there, too, as one of the lands. Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. I can add it.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I didn't do it.
Yeah, we don't have the round 2 sheet of points and stuff.
I can add it.
Josh knows how to do all this magic. It's
I
still,
think I
still
do.
new to me.
Are they both 0-pointers or?
Someone had a draw round one.
Okay.
So one of them's at 1 point, one of them's at
Yeah.
none, and I don't remember which is which.
Yeah, I think Allie had 0. Oh, 1. I do that on the right side? No. What the heck?
Someone's pressing shift. There we go. Off to an early brainstorming start here. A Nile spell bomb for Matt is probably going to be one of his better answers that he's got here to deal with some surprise phoenixes.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think we got him up on there. Yep, I'm seeing him. We're good to go. All right. Brainstorm resolves. Oh, looks like our life pad is running out of juice.
Yeah, happens every other week or so.
Yes, agreed. See what is Matt going to do here? So I think he can either play a Stoneforge here, or he could play a Cantrip, crack a fetch, and then play a Stoneforge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the Stoneforge now is a little bit better.
You know, the one thing that's rough about Stoneforge against a deck that's running Cabal Therapy is you give them a free pick on the first one.
Yep, definitely. That being said, Matt does have Brainstorm mana up, and
True.
I don't know if you ever cast a Brainstorm in any sort of combination with Stoneforge Mystics, but there's a whole lot of ways that those two cards sequence together.
God, yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite things so far is bouncing a Stoneforge to use it as a shuffle effect. Bouncing it with the Jays.
Yeah, that's some next level tech right there.
I believe I had a double cantrip hand, and I needed to find a sword. The sword was lethal, so I put it as a shuffle effect, so I'd see more cards.
Wow. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've done anything weird like that. I mean, I know I have. I just can't remember right now.
Yeah, you play way more degenerate decks than me.
Yes,
so.
yes. Very differently degenerate. Yeah.
I just get as much equity out of as I can out of any fair cards.
Yeah. You know all about the best times available to play your Vendilion clicks.
Oh man, Cyrus in the chat. Look at that.
Ooh.
I'm already blushing. You can see it from here.
It's true. It's true. Can confirm.
So I was going to resolve this Ponder. Let's see what they find.
I think there's a Rakdos Charm in hand.
Okay, that certainly destroys some artifacts.
Yeah.
Rasslin did call the Abrade. Sadly, Rakdos Charm is slightly harder to cast Abrade.
Yeah, I think.
JJ and Jordan Isaka, neither one are here.
Yeah.
So. Small world.
Small world.
We have a Cyrus, but neither one of the Seattle locals.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that Rakdos Charm is a grossly underutilized sideboard card. Especially back in the days in Modern when Splinter Twin was running rampant. It was a perfect sideboard card to deal with Affinity or Splinter Twin. It was great.
Yeah, I think I won like maybe 5 or 6 games off of the back of that card versus Twin. But that was a long time ago, so I can't say for sure. But there was definitely discrete games that were won because I was like, random ass one of sideboard card. I was playing it in Gem though, which is probably the wrong place to play it because oftentimes people board out the combo there. So Ali's on spell number 2 here. We got a cantrip into a dark ritual. Let's see where they're going. The game's getting exciting.
There's our Buried Alive.
The Buried Alifer. So Ali, of course, doesn't have a stifle or anything for this this Nile Spellbomb, so let's see what they do. There's also the case to be made, maybe you just get 1 or 2. Yeah, they're just going for 2 here. I like that.
Yeah, 2. Bait out the bomb. Hope to bury them alive another day.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Ritual, bury them again. So yeah, Matt's probably just going to go trigger on the stack. Go ahead and crack a fetch.
Yep. Yeah, 1 mana short of being able to blow up in response to the fetch.
That being said, it only stops a mana, so...
That's true, yeah.
I love Nile Spellbomb. It's just secretly one of my favorite cards.
Oh yeah, I really liked the second Mirrodin set's Spellbomb twist was so much more interesting than the original Spellbombs from Mirrodin.
Yeah, definitely.
Sadly, I would be repping Toothy tonight, most likely, but I am casting, not playing.
Toothy's the para creature, right?
Yeah, Toothy and Pier.
partner?
Yeah, they're partnered. Toothy gets +1/+1 counters whenever you draw cards, and when it leaves the battlefield, you draw cards equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it.
Yep.
Not optional, by the way.
Yeah. You must.
Yeah, you must. And Pier increases the number of counters that permanents you control gain.
Yep. Get placed on. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We got another cantrip here from Allie. Let's see what they find. Looking for another copy to bury alive. We'll take just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Allie's at 12, and Matt is going to be able to play a Batterskull here.
Batterskull on end step, followed by cast and equip Jite.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really like casting Jite ever. I would much rather Stoneforge it in. But
that's true.
I don't necessarily know if Matt wants to tap out there. I think it's probably safe to leave up mana, put in the Jite on the next end step.
Yeah, that's probably
go to
the
the
better
following
route.
turn.
Yeah.
As somebody who's played a lot of control, I will say I don't like tapping out unless I really, really need to. And this board state is not a really, really need to tap out, especially with Matt already getting rid of 2 of the Arclight Phoenixes for good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good shape.
Yeah, none of the Phoenix lists are probably running a Pull from Eternity.
Yeah. Dark Ritual does not cast Pull from Eternity. We got another Brainstorm here from Allie.
Yep. Let's see. Looks like a Ponder, something red, and I missed the third card.
Yeah, they're playing a little close to the chest. That happens sometimes. A lot of people do.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, hey. I know, right?
Wow, that's an outrageously small world.
I know. We have had this talk about how you know each other.
Mhm.
I have not had the talk with you that we
Yeah.
both know him.
We've had the talk.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very small world.
Yeah, just had a former coworker of mine and friend of Patrick's just walk by.
Yeah, someone I sing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small world. So
Very small world.
just had to say hi really quickly to that. Well, Allie resolved this cantrip.
Yeah.
Sometimes Legacy is just sitting there looking at someone look at magic cards, and not as exciting as attacking it with Arclight Phoenixes.
Not quite.
We'll see if it gets to that point. Looks like Allie's just going to pass. We got a Batterskull time. Matt's going in hyperspeed now, playing way fast.
Yep. He's got his game plan. He's got his clock. He's doing what his deck wants to do.
I think the way to analyze a lot of these matchups as the blue control deck is like you're not dead on turn 4, your win rate just goes up every second.
Yeah.
Matt knows that he wants to win game 3, and there's only 24 minutes left in the round. And so if your win rate goes up every turn, you want game 3 to be as long as possible. Is always the way that I've looked at stuff like that. What does he, him, and they, them mean? It's just preferred pronouns. You know, makes it easy. It's just right there.
It's also a reminder to us, or at least to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
going into game 3.
If I was building a Phoenix deck, I would probably splash white for Pull from Eternity and Monastery Mentor, because that's the kind of person I am.
What I'd really like to see you do is like play Pyrokinesis, pitching Arclight Phoenix, and then end step pulling it back in. I think that would be an interesting interaction.
So there's a super sweet deck that I've toyed around with in Modern called Omnarscience.
Omnarscience.
It uses Narset, the non-Planeswalker version.
Yep, the creature. The EDH card. Yep.
Yes. So
I know the one.
The goal is you need to get it into your yard with a Faithless Looting on turn 1. Goryo's Vengeance it and attack in over and over. And your deck is stacked with extra combat step cards and an Omniscience. And an Emrakul. And so you just keep doing combat steps over and over again until you hit an Omniscience with Narset. Draw into your Emrakul, cast Emrakul, take your extra turn, win.
Yeah.
It's a stupid deck.
It sounds like you could do the same thing without Emrakul.
Yes.
Or Omni.
Yeah.
I think that's how a lot of the EDH decks go.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you just stack it. It's got the land that you can start with in play by exiling a card.
Yeah, Gemstone Kind.
Yeah, Gemstone Caverns.
I think, yeah. There's Gemstone Mine and Gemstone Caverns. Both of them have counters. One of them has more counters.
Yeah, both of them have counters. One of them only gets counters in a special way.
Yep.
Yeah. So, man, that one, and you run. You get to use 4 of Serum Powders.
Yep.
that if you ever want a Goldfish deck that teaches you how to mulligan aggressively, that's the deck to put together. Because if you don't, that game's over for you by turn 2. You either have it or you don't.
Definitely could see it.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Wow.
looks like Matt's looking at a hand. He's got double cantrip, snap, force will, and Stoneforge, as well as a heap and helping of lands. So, sure, that's a keep in pretty much every matchup. I'm going to go ahead and lead with.
That's pretty much the ideal hand for an Esper Stoneblade deck.
Yeah.
You've got your cantrips, you've got your removal, you've got a clock that's available to you. 2 clocks, technically, if you're going to stretch it and call the Stoneforge, or not the Stoneforge, the Snapcaster clock.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's a bad clock, but it's still a clock.
Allie on turn 2 going to fire off this Brainstorm. They haven't dropped a land yet, so I imagine a fetch land will be quick to follow. Hopefully not another, hopefully not another Brainstorm lock from Allie. That would be brutal.
Yeah. That said, we have seen game 1, Allie won with just the 1 land.
Yep.
So it's doable.
Oh, definitely.
It's just hard.
It's a lot harder to do that post-board games.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's usually easy to do a degenerate thing game 1 when your opponent doesn't have a deck that's really tuned to beat yours. That being said, when your opponent gets access to a bunch of Fluster Storms and stuff like that, matchup just gets a lot harder.
Yep. I think I saw Buried Alive in Allie's hand.
Let's see if they're going to follow that up. Dark Ritual Buried Alive is certainly one of the best turn 2 lines that this deck can provide. Oh, looks like it's just going to be Shockland and Pass. So we haven't seen a Death Shadow yet, and I honestly don't think Death Shadow is very good in this matchup. It's really bad versus Swords to Plowshares.
Oh, yeah.
It always puts you to 13.
Yep. One of them's plowed, the rest of them die.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to see a Daze on this Stoneforge. Allie's like, I'm not trying to deal with that this game. I think we should just say no.
And I think that's the right call by Matt to not force that.
I agree.
You can still win without the Stoneforge, and keeping the force up to deal with the Buried Alives is
definitely
way more important.
Oftentimes, the way that I look at a lot of the matchups as these control decks is that your goal is to not lose to the combo deck.
Yeah.
And right here, Allie, as the combo deck, is going to have to play a Disruption piece to beat the Stoneforge Mystic, which means that Stoneforge Mystic, traditionally a creature that does not interact with spells, is now getting to trade with a counterspell.
Yep.
Which is actually good for Matt in the grand scheme of things. So he's happy to take that 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah. It's literal actual baby Jace.
Yeah, little baby Jace on the side for Allie. Matt, of course, has adult grown-up Jace.
Yeah.
And I think that Matt just drew double Swords to Plowshares off this Rainstorm, so pretty rock solid answer to Jace, pretty rock solid answer to all of the cards in Allie, all of the threats in Allie's deck.
Yeah.
So Matt, I believe he's played a land this turn. I think no, he has not yet, right? He played Stoneforge on 2?
Yeah, he played Stoneforge on 2, so he's got a land drop still. Yeah. Keeping both the swords in hand, I think, is probably the right choice, especially because you're going to cast 1.
Yeah, I kind of like hiding a swords if possible, though.
Yeah, but who's going to name swords? After you've cast swords, who's going to go name swords with a Cabal Therapy?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cases to be made. It's probably not an In the Dark decision, but certainly I think there are hands that I would look at it and be like, I just need my opponent not to have a removal spell here, even though they already played one. It does mean that can't crack the fetch, but it's like Matt doesn't want to anyways. Yeah, there's the swords on the JVP.
Yep.
No life gain. Back to Allie.
Swords exceptionally good against 0 power creatures.
Exceptionally overpowered. Yeah, they just don't hold golf clubs well. That's really the problem.
They don't know how to till the soil.
Got another Brainstorm here from Allie. Let's see what they find. It looks like another copy of Buried Alive.
Yep. I think that was the one from a previous Brainstorm tucked on top.
Oh, yeah. Was that a Caracas tapping for Swords to Plowshares? It was. The Caracas could have just bounced the Jace, but I think that's probably a creature you want a Swords. I guess Matt leaving up a mana could wait a turn.
Yeah, I mean, you could also do something mean where you just keep bouncing it.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, that's something that costs you 1 mana every turn. It costs Allie 2 mana every turn, though, so it's probably something you're okay with, but... But I've certainly have casted Swords of Plowshares off of Caracas targeting Leovold before, and it did not feel wrong, you know?
No, not at all.
Didn't feel wrong. Cyclist Re-Wraith back into one of the cards that Allie put back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're looking for land number 3 here. They played a Daze, so they're down 1. Okay, now it's a Preordain. Interesting.
That's a Dark Ritual, I think.
Which is pretty solid.
Not another black source to be able to cast this turn, it looks like. Unless, oh, there's a fetch land? Yeah, there
There
it
it
is.
is. Land number 3. Alley, of course, played a Daze, so they're a land
Yeah.
behind. But
Yep.
they haven't missed a land drop. But I didn't think they had another land in their hand, so having that one's good. Land down for Matt. Let's see where we go from here. He's got a cantrip. Just gonna ship it though. Instant speed brainstorm's always nice.
Instant speed brainstorm, the snapcaster, the force. Matt's got all the answers in the world he needs right now.
Yep. He's also not being pressured at all, which is a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, and a spell pierce, right? Yeah,
I think
spell pierce.
I think that's the last card in his hand. It's a pretty common sideboard card at this point.
Oh yeah.
Cabal Therapy going across the street. What's Allie gonna name here?
I'm of the opinion that always the best blind name is always brainstorm.
Yeah, especially if your opponent ever thinks about what they should do in response to a Cabal Therapy, it probably means they have a brainstorm in their hand.
Yeah.
And like a lot of Magic is kind of mind gaming and guessing what your opponent is going to do, and this is certainly one of those windows.
Yeah, it's wizard poker.
It's awkward because playing this brainstorm here is actually kind of awkward for Matt, as you want to have access to another one. Interesting. He's gonna spell pierce. Oh,
you know,
man.
I don't hate that.
I do. I don't know what this does, especially if Allie's planning on naming Brainstorm, which I think that they are anyways. This is actually just letting Cabal Therapy be a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that's true. Ellie doesn't have anything to sack right now, though.
I mean, sure, but that Spell Pierce will eventually counter something. Oh, looks like Spell Pierce is going to resolve. Wow. I probably would have just paid 2 and named Brainstorm, been like, yeah, Brainstorm.
Yeah. I think Allie's plan is to try and get the Buried Alive to resolve this turn.
Yeah. They find a Thoughtseize. They haven't played a land yet this turn.
Yeah.
So
land, Thoughtseize,
then Dark Ritual, Buried Alive? I guess, yeah. Certainly a hope.
Matt's only hard counter he's got left is the Force.
Yep.
So picking that out. Pick out the Force, and then Matt just has to hope and pray off of a Brainstorm for another Force.
Yep. And the fetch.
Yep.
I think it's possible we just see Thoughtseize this turn and then the combo next turn.
Probably.
But Matt's hand's actually pretty well positioned for that line.
He can. He can snap Spell Pierce. Yeah. Fetch snap Spell Pierce gets him an extra counter spell or counter source, I guess. Huh. That might also be the other sort of. Yep, there's the Thoughtseize.
Yeah, let's see if that's what Matt fires off. He's got some options. Oh, he's going to play a Brainstorm here. Yeah, I think I actually do in this board state. I like the snap Spell Pierce here.
Probably hide. Ooh.
Hide the Force and the Swords, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel the most exciting.
Yeah, not really. But they are the most disruptive options there.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt knows that Allie's not going to combo off this turn, so they're not really that afraid of lethal. This hand looks like I'm just going to jam Jace, so Allie might just take Jace here, which is also pretty painful for Matt.
Yeah. Knocking out Jace just really cuts down on Matt's card advantage engines, cuts down on sort of his options for the softer removal on the Phoenixes. And like locks out a potential win con.
When you're playing a storm deck or a combo deck, oftentimes you want to try and get underneath your opponent. But versus control decks, that's sometimes not feasible, and it's just better to grind them out. And so cards that really pressure you aren't cards that pressure the life total. They're cards that pressure card advantage. And so Jace is a lot more threatening there than True Name.
But True Name, he's at Allie's at 7.
Yeah. So I think Allie's taking attention to that, and I think that the way to analyze that is that says, okay, what turn does Allie think that they're going to win this game?
Yeah.
Because that's like the deciding factor between Jace or True Name, I think.
True Name will take a lot less time, but Jace will do a lot more to impact the board state over the course of those turns.
Yeah. I think 1 Brainstorm from Jace is a lot worse than True Name, and I think 2 Brainstorms from Jace is a lot worse than True Name. But 3 Brainstorms from Jace isn't as good as True Name, because that's where the lethal point is.
Yeah. But here comes Jace.
I have to imagine.
Well, you don't have to imagine now. It's happened.
It's occurred.
Yep, going for the Brainstorm. Ponder, Batter Skull. Something
I
else?
think that's an Inquisition is the black spell.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty
Inquisition.
common. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Swords of Plowshare Snap to fill it out.
I never expect the Spanish Inquisition.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Spanish Inquisition of Kozilek.
Yes. Yep.
And the pass after the Brainstorm. Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Matt could also fire off that Thoughtseize, or the Inquisition there if he wanted to.
Yeah. It's debatable based on what cards he wants back on top.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Bitter Blossom.
Ooh.
Gonna be tough for Matt to beat. So Allie
Yeah.
wants to play the control deck this game. She's like, you know what? I think that I'm gonna be able to keep your threats clear and just go long. That being said, look at Allie's life total. Bitter Blossom is not exciting at 7 life.
No, especially with a fetch up.
They do have a Death Shadow.
Yeah, it'd probably be Bitter Blossom for a few turns. Try and stick a Death Shadow. The more threats Allie can stick, the less useful Jace is going to be.
Definitely, yeah.
That's one of the other things with like Jace versus Turname is Jace is a threat that Allie can interact with.
Yeah, definitely.
And Turname is not.
So here's the Inquisition. I'm thinking Allie. I was thinking Allie might have wanted to just play the Death Shadow here.
Yeah, but being able to brainstorm and tuck it away.
Yeah.
That's also pretty good.
Ooh, the Phoenixes.
Double Phoenix.
This card's cost 4 mana, so that's a really bad zone for Phoenix to be in. Not want that in the hand. And really, Allie wants to hide cards from this Inquisition right now, but they need to get the 2 Phoenixes out of the deck, so they can't brainstorm lock themselves here.
Yep.
They're just gonna reveal double Phoenix.
Double Phoenix land. Just be like, all right, you discard
They're just
nothing.
gonna cast them. Yeah, they're just gonna cast them. I think.
Yeah, they can fetch for 1 land. They can take 1 and just cast them. Yeah, that works. Really ups the pressure on the clock there.
Yeah, it also pressures the Jace this turn, which is something that Bitter Blossom does slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking Allie was going to hide both Phoenixes, but I like this line a lot more, and this is why I'm in the booth and not playing.
Yeah.
Because I forget that Phoenix has a mana cost.
Yep. It's always nice, because even if Phoenix could have been discarded from that, that's the best option to have discarded. You want it in your graveyard. But if you can also blank one of their discard spells,
You should just do that.
Even better, yeah.
Agreed.
Especially now, because it's like, all right, I'll cast a Phoenix this turn, and if it gets countered, cool, it's countered, and then now that's just a threat. I have to cast 3 more spells just to get 1 back, and that's easy.
Exactly, yeah.
And even then, showing the 2 Phoenixes in hand means, all right, you can deal with 1, you deal with the second one, then I'm just 3 spells away from getting 2 of them back.
White removal spells tend to be exile.
That's
so
That's true.
Phoenixes tend not to stick around very often in Legacy.
Yeah,
in
especially,
that regard.
I think Matt
Is this
has
just a bat we're dropping? Yeah, here's the hammer.
Hardcast
Bring in the germ. Bring in the germ. That's proactive magic right there, getting that Batter Skull down. Allie is at 6, so that's a low life total.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's that Death Shadow that they put back, though, so they are going to be able to deploy that.
Yeah, it'll win against Batterskull.
It does beat Batterskull for now. That being said, Swords to Plowshares answers it, but Swords to Plowshares also sets Allie up to not die to the Batterskull right away, so...
Yeah. Also, Bitter Blossom chump blockers are nice to have.
Yeah, definitely. That being said, Bitter Blossom chump blockers does not beat a Batterskull. It beats some cards, but
not that. Not that at all.
The 4-point life swing every turn is still going to add up quick.
Yeah. Going for the actual dual land.
There's the Phoenix.
Yep.
See where they're going to go with that one. Looks like they're going to attack the Jace here.
Yeah, hit the Jace. Let the chump block the Batterskull. Let the 4 life swing go in. I think that's probably the right line there. And then next turn, be able to drop the Death Shadow. The good thing about Death Shadow getting swords is Allie will be back up at 13, which is 13 more turns of Bitter Blossom. And that's a fantastic place to be in.
Yeah, and of course the backup Phoenix is also pretty threatening here for Matt. Matt does not want to deal with the next one coming out of Allie's hand.
Yeah.
So Matt's going to find, I believe that's just a Stoneforge Mystic and 2 lands. I'm not sure if you want to shuffle there. I don't know how great Stoneforge is in this scenario. Like, it gets Jite.
No, he's got Jite in hand.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. Well,
I think he had Jite in hand. None of the swords, I think, are super useful. Oh no, that's a swords in hand. Yeah, so no GT in hand.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people have been cutting Sword of Fire and Ice, so I don't think the Stoneforge finds Sophie anymore.
Ooh.
I like this. Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
actually just lethal. Oh no, it's not quite lethal because Allie's going to gain 1 off their Bitter Blossom getting exiled. The Bitter
Yeah.
Blossom token getting exiled. I was thinking they were going to die to the Bitter Blossom on upkeep, but the 1 life differential there does matter. Of course, this does expose Allie to a next turn snap, or end step snap, so as to Plowshares on any blockers.
Also, like, Matt doesn't even have to do anything. Just sit back and, yeah,
Yep.
there it goes.
Yeah, Allie does not think they have a way out of it. They're just going
No.
to scoop it up.
Yep.
Matt's going to take the match.
Let's throw it on back to the booth.
Yeah, I have been wearing my headphones with 1 ear off this entire time, and I don't know why. Because I can hear you just fine inside of them.
Excellent, yeah.
I was just doing that before, so I kept doing it. It's really uncomfortable. Don't know why I was doing it. Realized it right then.
I tend to do that with headphones anyway, even when I'm just at home.
Yeah.
I'll just pop 1 ear off.
I'm gonna hear the murderer sneaking up on me. Okay, so don't
Yeah,
get
that's
any
the goal.
ideas.
That's always the goal. Preventing murder.
Yeah, so we just got a few minutes left in the round. I'm going to take a quick bio break, so I think we're going to go down for just a few minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. We got 2 more rounds of Legacy. 2 more rounds. Two.
That many.
There we go. 2. 2 more rounds of Legacy coming at you live. Just trying to get in the corner of the screen, and it wasn't working very well.
Somewhere.
So yeah, of course, Mondays, 6:30 p.m. Twitch.tv/Card Kingdom. That's what you're watching. Don't forget about Thursday streams.
Thursday's Modern. Coming up on the 23rd, which is a Saturday, starting around noonish, we've got the Legacy Preservation Series 1K.
Yeah. So that's not this coming Monday. That's next Monday.
Next Saturday.
I don't know why I said Monday.
Well, because next Monday is normal stuff. But
yeah, that's just regular Legacy. You're right.
Yeah.
Like
That's extra special Legacy.
I can take it. I'll accept it.
Yeah?
I'm assuming I'm Broadway, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right,
I
stay
don't know
tuned, guys.
who either of
We'll
those
be back.
people are. So.
Gerard Way is the writer of Umbrella Academy. He also did some other music.
Okay.
Some chemical romance guy, you know.
Oh, that guy.
And then Chad Kroger is, I believe, Nickelback? Is that right? Chad? Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back.
We'll be back. Yeah. I'm going to go. Yeah, we're just taking a break while this match wraps up. We will be back in about 3-4-ish minutes. But someone on the stream got rid of our BRB screen, so we do not currently have one. And we're back.
Welcome back to the booth, my friends. I
I
just
move
messed.
this?
I did. I think
Oh,
I did.
you did.
It's on my
Okay,
end.
yeah,
I tried to sneak in. Oh, I got an adult to fix it.
Yep.
Problem solved. Oh, almost.
That was just like that one guy back on the table that we can just see.
Yeah.
It, like perfectly framed his face.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm
Special
Patrick.
guest caster. Yeah.
I'm Patrick. This
I'm
is
Josh.
Josh.
That's
Yeah,
me.
That's him.
We're playing Legacy. Hopefully you've played Legacy. If not, hope you're watching Legacy.
Yeah.
Second best thing compared to playing Legacy.
True. Very
We got
true.
2 more rounds coming at you. We just hit end of round 2, so we figured we'd come back a few minutes early, talk about Legacy, talk about Modern, talk about Patrick Weekly Legacy.
Yeah. Patrick Weekly Legacy.
Patrick Legacy Weekly. I said it backwards. I messed it up already. That was a good one.
It's okay. It's okay. Jim Miles with the good jokes in chat. Yeah, it turns out there's more Death Shadow decks here than we thought initially on the first score. Yeah.
Nice. Crowned cat. Yeah, we actually have the applause button, and we have the background people playing video games and background people playing regular games.
It's a very, very convincing green screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey.
In fact, the only part of the green screen is real is the tiny sliver you see on the edge. The black is actually there. Anything sick we want to get on camera?
Level 1 is Delver v 4-color Leovold.
Okay. I love that deck, but I don't know if we've seen it too much. Let's see. What's Lee playing? He's on post, is that right?
Yeah.
What's Andrew on? Torres?
Death Shadow.
Do Shadow versus Post, or we could do Leovold versus Delver, is that right?
Yeah, I'm trying. Tom's on.
Sneak and Show.
Yeah.
Let's do table 1, maybe. Let's do that.
I'll leave it up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do table 1. Table 1, yeah, we'll do table 1.
Grixis Elves.
Looks like, yeah, no post this time. Sorry, maybe next round, we'll see.
Yeah.
Probably get Tom
4-color Leovold v Delver. Yeah.
Probably get Tom on camera round 4. He usually goes 3-0 and then plays round 4, so.
Yeah.
That's who I usually end up getting on camera. All right, so let's see. Michael Boyd.
Yep.
Is he playing Leovold? I think he might be playing this like Punishing deck.
No, Boyd's on Delver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael on the left.
Michael's on the left. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna head down to the match while I update these. One.
There is one Death and Taxes player tonight. Let me see how they're doing. Continue to just hold this for you here. Death and Taxes player is 1-1 tonight. Not bad.
2-0. I'm silly. This is
Yeah, they're
round
both
3.
2-0 right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Benjamin's playing Punishing deck. Pretty sure.
Well, yeah, Punishing deck, it's written down as 4-color Leovold, so yeah.
Makes sense.
All right.
So these guys are gonna shuffle up really quick while they get set up. While we get set up on our end, we're starting the timer. Of course, our timer is going to be within 600 milliseconds of accuracy.
Exactly. They are pressed at the exact same time.
That is the CK guarantee. 600 milliseconds between the timer on stream and the real one.
Yep.
Or your money back.
Good thing it's a free stream.
Yeah. I think the price is in the book.
Yeah, so...
Of counters, Myth Realized versus Toothy. Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, yeah.
I was actually playing that deck online on Magic Online. I stopped playing it on MTGO because Humility is bugged on Magic Online. It makes Mishra's Factory 2/2s, but it makes Myth Realized 1/1s. And they're both supposed to be coded the same, so...
Yeah.
Not sure why. I submitted a bug report after I bought Humilities, which were pretty expensive on MTGA, and then they refunded the league that I found the bug in, which is,
nice. That's
basically exactly the same as refunding me for the Humilities that I bought. Go figure.
Yeah. I can't bring myself to play Magic Online. Just feels weird double dipping the same set of cards.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
Also,
it's so much cheaper online than it is in paper, though.
So much cheaper. It's so tempting, too.
I wanted to build Shardless on there, and it costed me like $40 from everything I had from Grixis.
Yeah, there's
like multiple Bayous, multiple Trops, and Ancestrals, and Goyfs, and everything.
Yeah, so I mentioned it earlier in the stream, like a Simic Ascendancy Nick Fit list that I was toying around with. I looked up the prices for it online, and the most expensive cards in it were the 4 Hydroid Grixis.
Yep.
Everything else was remarkably cheaper, and it's like, maybe I should be playing online.
Yeah, exactly. There's usually a couple cards that are a lot more expensive, and it's usually cards that see play exclusively as play sets in multiple formats.
Yeah.
Not always, but that's certainly a good start. Planeswalkers are also pretty expensive.
Newly printed Mythics, just in general. Yeah. And Mythics from supplementary sets because of the whole treasure chest.
Yeah, the treasure chest system.
Stuff, yeah.
The thing that frustrates me about the treasure chest system is that you can't get foils of some of the cards.
Oh.
Foils tend to be cheaper online than they are in for non-foil versions.
Okay, so you got to be a little more specific when you say that EDH fit deck because there's so many different ways.
60 different cards in each slot.
Yeah, Nick fits a deck with like 50 flex slots. That's the way to think about it.
So it looks like Daute's on the top for Ben here.
Yep.
Michael's leading off with an island in the Grixis Delver deck. Interesting.
Yeah, not the choice I would have made, especially with duels as an option, but maybe going in blind, you want to try to avoid some sort of like turn 1 wasteland.
I guess, yeah. It's tough. Sometimes you just got to play the lands you're dealt. And like I feel like in decks like this, you'd much rather your Bayou get wasted than your Underground Sea get wasted.
That's true.
So I definitely understand leading with this. This also hides what deck you're playing. It makes it look like you're playing Turbo Depths or something along those lines, which is definitely a good start. And the thing is about playing Turbo Depths is that it would incentivize your opponent to not waste this Bayou, which is antithetical to your goal here, which is get your Bayou wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like Gurmag Angler, Snapcaster, Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt. You see the cards, Volcanic Island, and Wasteland. Can't take the Wasteland, sadly, so going to be the Thoughtseize, which isn't castable out of this hand, but I imagine it'll be casted soon. Benjamin doesn't care about the Bolt here. He's like, yeah, you get the removal spell. In a few turns, you can play that Snapcaster. I'm not worried about Gurmag yet. Draft the turn for Michael. He's going to play face up for us. It's nice. Young Pyromancer coming down. He, of course, hit it off of the Brainstorm. I knew it was there. Couldn't run that one by me. Draw for Benjamin. Finds himself a Punishing Fire. That's a rock-solid answer to the Young Pyromancer. That being said, the only red source he has for land is that Grove of the Burn Willows. Really don't want to expose that one to Wasteland.
No, you baiting the Wasteland early, keeping the Grove up is probably one of the most important things that he's got to do to have a chance to grind out this long game.
Yeah, so actually what I might do here is I might just play the Assassin's Trophy, and I'm running through it in my head. I feel like this Delver deck only has one island. I'm going to Assassin's Trophy the Volcanic. That's what I would do in this scenario.
He's Assassin's Trophying the Young Pyromancer, and Michael's
failing to find,
or opting not to search.
I'm going to assume that he also doesn't have another hit, but yeah, he probably wants his true name more. That's why I would have attacked the Volcanic there. You might get burned, and he might have another land in his deck, which is bad for you, but it's one you'd accept.
Yeah.
This true name is going to be really tough to beat for Ben. Can't really handle that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and Michael's pretty close to casting that Gurmag Angler, but not quite. I think he's 1 mana off. And of course, the Bolt and the Wasteland both cost 0 mana into the Gurmag, because they like tap for mana or exile for a mana.
Going to waste the Bayou.
Going after a green source. Okay.
Still has a green source left in the Trop, but cutting off the black source.
Yeah. Afraid of double black. Yeah, I meant to say, leaving the blue source. Oh, we got a Stifle on the fetch land, though. Oh, that's painful. Wow. Ouch. So yeah, Benjamin Thoughtseize he took the Thoughtseize with his own Thoughtseize, and now we're seeing Michael not have black mana to cast it at any point in this game.
Yeah. Seems to be, I can understand why Ben made that pick. Being able to protect their hand is super important, but turns out it just wasn't at any risk.
Yeah, that's certainly one way of looking at it. I feel like Benjamin's so far underneath the gun here.
I fail to see how he's going to get out of this. He doesn't have many ways to. I don't think. Yeah, Punishing Deck wouldn't run any main deck answers to a true name.
Highly unlikely. Oftentimes out of the sideboard, they play To the Slaughter, which is the target player Saxon artifact, or a planeswalker
or creature.
Yeah, and then with
Delirium it's both.
Yeah, it's both sides. There's a card that's dirt cheap on Magic Online.
It's pretty dirt cheap in paper, too.
Yep. See, you don't find cards in paper that are foil for 1 cent, but you do on Arena.
Fair. Okay, that's fair.
That's one of those cards that are worth 1 cent.
Wow.
It's probably worth more than that now, but when I picked it up, it was 1 cent.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't run Toxic Deluge, because that's the other standard answer.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Ben's probably just going to play a Jace here with the intention that it's like just a little stopgap, gaining him some life. If he brainstorms, it probably just gets bolted instantly. Oh, interesting. So Michael actually drew another stifle. He's going to stifle the Jace brainstorm. Okay.
Wow.
Kind of respect that.
Yeah.
I don't respect that bolt though. I would have just gone upstairs, honestly.
Yeah, just hit it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's going to scoop. So yeah, if Michael goes upstairs with that bolt, he can untap and then snap bolt, and that plus the True Name Swing is lethal. So you're just like, I don't care about your Jace. I'll just go for you.
Yeah.
Go for the jugular. That's what I always say. Still going to Michael. Pretty good start with that True Name Nemesis. Got to hide it from the Thoughtseize.
Yep. Got to have the young Pyromancer eat the Assassin's Trophy as the first removal piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got bringing in here. Surgical. So I'm not sure. So Michael did see the Grove and the Punishing Fire. So having in bringing in some sort of Graveyard Hate is probably what he'll be doing. Stifle Snapcaster, yeah.
Yeah, Stifle is definitely saying, I want games to be as low to the ground as possible, and Snapcaster says, I want to scale, so they definitely are antithetical in that regard. But Stifle is a spell, and Snapcaster is good with spells, so... Definitely agree they're pulling in separate directions, but at least there is some overlap. Sometimes you pull in separate directions and the cards have absolutely no interaction together, and at least that's not the scenario.
Yeah, I think also like late game stifles can be very useful still, especially against decks that aren't running a whole lot of counter magic to counter stifles.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
People are fetching all throughout the game. People are activating Planeswalker abilities all throughout the game. Like
a lot of these effects though, they don't feel good to spend a card to stifle though.
True.
Stifling duels though, or stifling fetch lands though, that feels very good.
Stifling fetches is good. Stifling a lot of Planeswalker abilities is also pretty good. Even better, like the long game, they go to ult chase, stifle the ult.
Yeah, that's a magical Christmas land.
That is magical Christmas land, but yes. Stifling other Planeswalker ults, like stifling a Lily ult if you get to that point, or they go to make you sack and you're like, yeah, I'll stifle that to protect my one-of creature and swing in. Stifle Storm, yeah.
I feel like you guys are mentioning scenarios that Stifle does have applications in.
Stifle is much more of a Swiss Army knife than most people think of it as. I mean, obviously, like a Swiss Army knife, the one thing you get it for is the knife, and that's, in this case, stifling fetches. But it's also got that corkscrew attachment that maybe sometime you'll use at some point.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes trying to prepare for a rainy day is like not the way to analyze these cards, because a lot of them they get played around pretty easily, and like stifling a Jace activation is like, oh, I countered a brainstorm. It's like really not worth a whole lot. Like if you pull up with your Swiss Army knife and your opponent spent the same amount of money for like their big I studied the blade while you slept meme, you're gonna get slashed, and that's kind of the way I look at it. Like, sure, you do get versatility with this card, but it's not very efficient versatility.
Yeah, you're trading efficiency and effectiveness for versatility.
And I think that's one of those things that, sure, you can do, and you can say it's right, but I think that'll also not necessarily accomplish the task that you're hoping it does.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Stifle is also one of those cards that if you're behind, it is just one of the ugliest Magic cards out there.
Oh yeah, it's when they're already set up on board and beating your face with creatures, it's not very useful.
Yeah.
It can't stop spells. There's as many good situations are there to have it. There's a lot of very bad ones.
Yeah, it can be tough. Stifle is just not a card that's particularly exciting to me. That's all it comes down to. I feel like it could be, but it hasn't shown itself to be. I remember when Deathrite Shaman got banned, everybody thought that Rug Delver was going to be the best deck, and I don't think I've seen anybody even think about that deck in a couple of years.
I saw Rug Delver for about a month after, and it put up a couple decent results early on, but people were also worried with with Deathrite Shaman going away, people are also worried about Graveyard decks making a resurgence. Turns out Graveyard Hate is also useful about slowing down Rug Delver. And I think the fact that so many decks were running sideboard Graveyard Hate was enough to hamper Rug Delver success.
I think that just Rug Delver's not a very good deck, and that's why it doesn't get played. Turns out the deck doesn't really care that much about a lot of the sideboard cards. They're certainly punishing, but oh, my Nimble Mongoose got exiled isn't the reason why you lose a game. It's
True.
Oh, I misevaluated my clock and let this happen. I just think Stifle is not impressive, and an aggro deck Lynch pinning on it is not really going to go super far. So here we're going to see a 6. It's a 1-lander from Michael here. Pretty clunky.
One later with the days, still not.
I'm not excited about this hand.
No, not at all.
Your goal is to resolve True Name there, and you're real far away from resolving True Name. I think an average 5 is more likely to resolve True Name on 3 than that hand. And that's usually how I look at mulligans. I'm like, what is the average hand underneath this? Not necessarily what does all of them look like, but the average one.
Yeah, is there a better 5 on average?
And then you can look is the average 4 more likely to cast True Name Nemesis? I don't think that's the case, but you get to add those together. You don't have to multiply the 5 and the 4 together, which is nice. Yes, I think that's exactly what's happened. The arms race has occurred, and Rug Delver's most recent threat is Tarmogoyf for Delver Secrets, I guess.
Yeah.
Stifle, Swiss Army Knife, Brainstorm, Smartphone, Leovold, George Foreman, Grill. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can punish very specific things with Leovold, like extra card draw.
Yeah, I can figure out how to play Leovold by casting Brainstorm into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up Leovold on my Brainstorm.
Yep.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah, those data rates.
Going to get a keep off this Ponder. I believe Benjamin...
Fetch into the Thoughtseize, it looks like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also Gurmag Angler exists, so that's probably better than any green or any green creature.
Yeah, so Gurmag Angler being good, even though Rug Delver does run Goyfs, Goyf just seems better than Nimble Mongoose pretty much all the time.
Yeah, except on turn 1.
Except on turn 1, that's fair.
2 is more mana than 1. It's in fact 100% more mana.
Usually though, most Rug Delver decks I saw weren't playing the Goose on 1.
Usually you leave up Stifle on turn 1 and your opponent fetches into you, and then if they don't, you're in really bad shape.
Yep.
You're already starting out under the gun. So we got Thoughtseize coming out from Michael. Let's see what he finds. I haven't gotten it. Could look at Ben's hand yet. Finds a Dak. Yep.
Yeah, Dak's the hit here. Yeah. Flusterstorm being the only other option.
Yeah. Grove in hand also makes that Dak way more exciting, because Dak is really good at finding Punishing Fire, but it's only finding Punishing Fire every turn if you get to buy it back with Grove.
Yeah.
Land number 2 for Benjamin. Let's see where he goes. Looks like he's visiting the Scalding Tarn. It's very, very hot there. Wasteland is a draw from Michael. Michael has the option to play this Bitter Blossom or play this Wasteland. Looks like it's going to be the BB.
Yeah, Bitter Blossom gets a clock out there, and you can start putting some pressure on Ben. I think that's probably the better option.
Yeah,
especially because Dak was the only threat that he's got. Put something out.
Yeah, it's also not an instant sorcery, so it walks right through Flusterstorm.
Yeah.
It's funny, I think that Punishing Fire Grove gets beat by Bitter Blossom because you spend 3 mana to do nothing, and they spend 0 mana to do nothing.
0 mana and 1 life. Well, no, 0. Yeah, because they gave the life back. Yeah. Oh man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an infinite circle. It's just like the Lion King always told me.
Everything the light touches is ours.
Can I get an Osabania in chat, please? It's like Benjamin's in the tank here deciding about what he wants to do with these fetch lands. It's like he's going to double tap. Is it another copy of Dak Faden, Greatest Thief in the Multiverse? Or what are we going to find in those 2 face-down cards?
I do really like that if you look, one of Dak Faden's hands is dyed red because he literally got caught red-handed.
Yeah.
He's counting cards.
It's clever.
Looks like a Badlands, and I think Underground Sea is the second one. Might be Trop. Nope, gonna get Underground Sea. Don't worry as much about the green mana when you have the Grow the Ruin Willows already.
Hey, the life pad's back. Maybe.
It's probably just running low on juice.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome. We got 4 rounds of Legacy coming at you. We are partway through round 3.
Good half hour left on this, yeah.
We'll see how
The
this game goes.
current life total is low battery. All
Yeah,
right.
we are on low battery emoji. Can I get a low battery in chat, please?
Yeah.
For 2 from
Give-
downtown.
Give us your energy.
Yeah. Looks like we got a Snapcaster on this ponder, bringing it back from the grave. Let's see what we find on this peak.
Yeah, I think Ben's just got to dig for something that can help deal with either Bitter Blossom. So probably an Assassin's Trophy would be great.
Yep.
Digging for another DAC to start off abusing the Punishing Fire, or hunting for and then abusing a Punishing Fire would be good.
Agree.
Um,
Double waste in hand for Michael.
so yeah, I think the right play for Michael then is probably just waste out the red source.
Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah.
I just like playing Wasteland on curve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not casting anything else. Like, I don't need 3 mana or 4 mana, so I may as well just start wasting ASAP.
Yeah.
I think there was also a case to be made to wasting earlier, before the Bitter Blossom came down.
Yeah, maybe. I think though, seeing the Grove in hand,
Yeah.
and wanting to keep that there, especially because then maybe Ben's obviously holding off on playing the Grove until he can start really abusing it with DAC to get crazy card advantage. So if you let Ben get into a situation where he's depending on the Grove to get that card advantage and then blow the Grove up, then you're in a much better spot to turn the tables on him.
Yeah, I would say that Delver is trying to get underneath, and so they don't really care that much about Benjamin being able to go that far over the top.
That's fair.
Michael just wants to stop Benjamin from doing anything. And actually, Benjamin just chose not to play a land at all there, even though he had the Grove. He could have exposed it, he chose not to. And Michael's taking the right line of straight up wasting. He's like, you're going to time walk yourself? Cool, me too.
Yeah, now's the time to just put the pressure on.
See, he's going to cast
Brainstorming in response.
which is going to be dispelled. I believe that's the Zendikar dispel. Oops, sorry about that. Viewers at home, sorry, I just smacked my mic.
Yep.
Draw off the turn for Benjamin. Let's see what he finds. He's going to pick up his Grove and Flusterstorm now. He's shown him for too long. And so that's his only red mana and his only green mana.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wasteland was destroyed. Yep. So I imagine he's just going to play his Grove of the Burn Willows, ping out the untapped Fairy Rogue, and crack in for 3. That's certainly what I'd do here. I guess you could also just play a Volcanic, fetch for a Volcanic and do it that way. But I figure you've already exposed the Grove. I don't really think Michael's going to have the 3rd Wasteland here. He might, but like...
He could, yeah, it's very true. He could eventually get it. I think it's also the safer play because Ben has seen Michael play Stifle. And so he just opened himself up to be stifled, but luckily wasn't.
Yep, that was certainly one of the scenarios I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The other regard is I don't know what the last card that Benjamin saw off the cantrip, but he potentially could have seen a card he wanted to keep, or a card he wanted to get rid of. If he wanted to get rid of it, definitely makes sense to fetch here. If you might have wanted to hold on to it, then it makes sense that you would want to not play a fetch land there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're currently at a red 5. That's our new life pad. Beat your new life pad.
Yeah, the default background on the pad is HAL 9000.
It looks like, yeah.
The real person in charge of Card Kingdom is HAL 9000. Little known fact right there.
Yeah. Could have picked that up if you watched Card Kingdom After Dark.
Yep.
Gonna take another ping. Draw card. Finds a Young Pyromancer. No spells, though.
Makes it a little awkward, but still worth sticking.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to play the body here. You expect it just to get Punishing Fire out of the world. So I think there is a case to be made to hold on to it. But
it does open up, though, if you're... I mean, obviously that's better than having another 1/1 flyer, but eating some more Punishing Fires on things that aren't 1/1 flyers lets you fly in for more stuff.
Potentially. I don't know if that's the right way to analyze it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's trading an actual good card for a 1/1 with evasion.
Yeah, the thing being said is that all of Benjamin's creatures have 1 toughness, so like evasion or trade, it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael's going to gain a life. Benjamin's going to find a P-Fire. Imagine it's coming right back down. Pew, pew, pew. Get the PZ off the table.
Yep. Could be also that Michael just wants a little more in his yard to fuel up for a potential Gurmag Angler in the future.
He's got the mana to cast it.
He does now.
I think he just played it because you played the cards on autopilot, but I think that you can hold on to that card and wait till you have a window to actually generate equity.
Yeah, that's true. Trade with Snap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he cracked in with the snap, especially cracked in with the snap and not the Strix. That seems extra weird to me.
Yeah. Like, you keep the Strix as a blocker to trade with?
But like, if you want to trade, I think you just attack and say, we can trade if you want to.
We can leave your friends behind.
Exactly. You can leave the summoning sick Baleful Strix behind.
Because your creatures don't trade, and if they don't trade, well, they're not creatures of mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I ain't casting that. We got Strix
Second
coming down.
Strix.
We got Stifle on the ETB trigger. See, this is why I don't like Stifle a lot of the time. You get into scenarios like this where it's like, you're sure. I'm gaining an entire card out of this. Yeah, all right. It's basically the same thing.
I guess the other use for keeping Stifle in is you stifle the Punishing Fire trigger? Maybe? Like,
Yeah, these are all things you could do. Strix still drew a card. It did not draw a card. It undrew a card from Michael, which I think is probably even better. I think it's probably better to have Strix ETB make your opponent discard a card is way better than ETB draw a card, I think.
I love that people are predicting that Strix is going to be in Modern Horizons.
I think it's a little bit too good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Days. I will say that.
Okay, fair.
I think that Strix is certainly a card that would not end the game, end the format if it was printed, but it's certainly going in that direction.
So even though Ben's got a lot more cards available to him,
And they're all insane.
Yeah. Michael still has a decent amount of pressure he's able to put on just from that Bitter Blossom cranking out tokens every turn.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That being said, Benjamin, like, he finds another removal spell and he gets out of this gun. Like, one removal spell gets him out from being under the gun here.
Yeah, one Assassin's Trophy is all he needs.
I just mean killing Fairy Rogue.
Or even that, yeah. Hey, an actual Delver from the Delver deck. That's a first today.
Suspicious. That's going to get Pyroblasted. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Gulag for you. Yep. And Benjamin's going to crack. Or Michael's going to crack. Looks like Benjamin's going to block. I would have killed one of the tokens right now as well.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go on the end step rather than instant speed. Yeah.
And there's this. Is that the second fire? Or that? Oh, no, that's the one you brought back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that he's got access to a couple of groves, he can start getting a little friskier.
Yeah. He can. I think he can start double firing every turn now.
Not quite. He needs one more red mana.
One more red mana, yeah.
Do we know life total? Sadly, our thing went down, so we don't. I'm guessing they're in the ballparks of 12-ish on both sides.
Yeah, Michael's been taking a lot from the Bitter Blossom.
He's also been gaining a lot off the Grove, and Benjamin's been taking a lot off the Bitter Blossom too. So I'm guessing the life totals are pretty close and in that range. I'm not sure exactly where.
It's definitely 2 digits. I think Ben just wrote 10 for Michael's life total.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
This is another one of those scenarios where I think it's right to kill one before damage is dealt. Yeah, okay. We're going to see it this time. Pew pew. And so yeah, when you have double Grove active, it's actually pretty cool because you can just play around Surgical Extraction or Extirpate for the entire game if you want to. It looks like we're just going to get to the point where we're just double casting. Yeah. Bounce back to hand and then cast it. Okay, yeah. It's like, you better not keep that. Oh, and there's a fish. Big a fish.
Fishy.
So Baleful Strix trading with one of those tokens, bad for Benjamin.
Yes.
I was assuming that was going to punish him. I don't know what his life total is, and so maybe his life total is low enough that it did prompt a response, but I feel like he could have taken it.
Yeah, especially with Baleful Strix basically being able to kill. Well, yeah, it kills anything because it's got Death Touch.
Yeah, the only thing that it kills is Burmag Angler. The only thing that it needs to kill, I guess, is the way that I'd phrase it. That being said, Benjamin's got a lot of cards in hand. He's been sitting on this Brainstorm forever. Highly recommend trying that out.
Yeah, all he's got to do... he can't triple P-Fire yet.
Nope. It costs a lot of mana to do that.
I have seen someone triple P-Fire a Gurmag Angler, so it's been done. But that's also coming from someone that popped a Pernicious Deed to kill an Iona once, so... stranger things have happened.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Pop Pernicious Deed for 9.
Yep. So Benjamin, after that Brainstorm resolve, put 2 lands back, cracking a fetch here, big shove. I think he wants another red source. I don't think it's very debatable.
Yeah, being able to double P-Fire just massively steps up the amount of pressure that he's able to put on. It can make sure he can deal with a Bitter Blossom token every turn and get some damage in.
Yeah.
So it's not neutral.
Yeah. I think Volcanic is just the right land to get here. I think you want a blue-red source and you want a red source, if that makes sense.
But going for the Underground Sea.
Yeah, and so right now, if you notice, Benjamin doesn't have enough red to double bounce, double cast the Punishing Fire, which means that you start wasting mana. Like, you stop being able to carry the 0 or whatever. You stop being able to save the remainder. That's the way I'm going to phrase it.
Yeah, that's the way to put it, yeah.
I knew there would be a math way to phrase what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, I don't know if it matters because there's that big old Gurmag Angler, and Benjamin's Brainstorm was not exciting. I believe it was 2 lands Ponder, so 2 of them just immediately went back, and the other one's getting casted right now.
Yep. Ponder at least allows for a slightly deeper dig. Snap and Force and land?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a shuffle. Oh, looks like he's going to keep. I don't necessarily know what's in the deck, I suppose.
Yeah, what's that mystery card? Oh, the mystery card was a Lily. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got really bad news about Liliana.
Yeah. Especially when they've got a 1/1 token that they can just happily sack to Lily.
Yep.
And no cards in hand.
Sorry, guys. And that was another turn where I think that Benjamin just needed to
sit back a bit.
Play another Grove of the Burnwell's Punishing Fire turn.
Yeah.
Because this turn he would have been able... Yeah, let's see. Benjamin last turn could have... instead of casting Lily, could have played and bought back Punishing Fire. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like this. Benjamin's actually just going to go upstairs. He said that's... Michael's just going to go upstairs. Michael's saying that's weird that you upticked with you downticked with Liliana rather than upticking, and now she's at 1, so you can't downtick her to kill my Gurmag Angler, even if you clear my board.
Yep.
So Benjamin kind of put himself in a really bad spot by downticking that Lily there. I think just playing Grove would have done the exact same thing, only Liliana would still be in your hand.
Yeah. Leaves you with more options in the future. Yep.
And that's going to be the handshake. Yeah. Oof.
Michael taking it in 2 games.
I thought we were going to 3.
I was hoping so, yeah.
All right, well, welcome back to the booth, my friends. Don't know why I'm doing that with my ear still.
Yeah, it could be that, he might have been low.
Yeah, it must have been. Still, so Liliana downtick kills 1 Bitter Blossom token, Punishing Fire kills 1 Bitter Blossom token, right?
Yeah,
they're interchangeable, so...
I guess the only option is it possibly baits getting Lily attacked if Michael draws something that he wants to really hold on to.
Yeah, I feel like it's playing into the threats on board. It doesn't beat the threats on board. It beats your opponent top decking another threat and you being able to answer that one and somehow incidentally also answer the other threat. I just don't see how that line gets there. I might be missing something though. His top 2 cards weren't removing Angler. Well,
that's true. He had a Force and...
The Liliana can remove Angler. If he had enough mana where he could have Punishing Fired that turn instead of playing Lily, and then the next turn could have Punishing Fired the token and then played Lily.
Yeah, because if he kept Punishing Firing 1 token, he'd keep him at 1 token plus 1 other creature.
Exactly. And he can set up the turn cycle so that he plays 1 on the end step, and then untaps, and then plays Punishing Fire, and then plays Lily.
Yeah. All right. Want me to go hunt for
if you want to take a look for
backup 20 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You might be able to find some can land or something like that.
Oh, yeah. We've got backup plans. Okay. Just set that there.
Yeah, set it carefully down. Yeah, I probably would have shuffled off the Ponder as well. I think that a lot of people, when they play Ponders, they're not necessarily analyzing what their Ponder is trying to do, and so they look at cards and oh, this is 3 spells, I'll keep. When I cast my cantrips, I'm specifically looking for a specific card or subset of cards, whether it be lands or whether it be spells or whether it be specific removal spells or, a planeswalker, a top-end threat, etc., etc. I try and figure that out before I actually cast the cantrip. That way, when I'm resolving my cantrip, I can just look at the cards and I can go, is this the cards that I want? No? All right, get them out of here. I don't really even care. I don't even need to evaluate these cards because I know that they don't work in my plan. So, yeah. Ponder usually reads, this isn't my card, shuffle. That's exactly how I read that card most of the time. And I feel like a lot of people, they kind of forget about that, and then they just see spells and they're oh, we're good to go with these. I went down to LA. I did somewhat poorly on the main event, but I ran super well in one of the MCQs. I top-8'd one of the MCQs playing Tron, which was super busted. I drew super well, and then I lost in Swiss by mulliganing 4, and then getting beat by sideboard cards, which, that's how it goes sometimes. But I had a good time, and top-8ing the MCQ basically subsidized the entire trip because I won a bunch of boxes that I then turned and flipped, so can't complain. Brainstorm is a mid to end game mulligan. Yeah, I think Brainstorm is more powerful the more turns have gone on in the game. I think it's really powerful on turn 2 when you get to crack a fetch after it, but I think that the applications that card have are drastically different than Ponder in terms of like how it can impact what a game looks like second to second, or spell resolution to spell resolution, I guess, which is a more heuristic representation than 1 second at a time, because this game happens instantly. Like, it's got like time freezes, people make their decisions. Time freezes, people make their decisions, etc., etc. Yeah, so we got another round after this one. We're going to try and maybe get a backup match. Patrick's looking around, taking a peek. It might be that we're playing some backup Magic. It might be that we're playing some backup Canlander. That's certainly what I'm rooting for. I love watching Canlander. And then we'll have one more round after that, and then that'll be all for our broadcast tonight. And then, of course, we always stream on Thursdays at the same channel. Of course, that's Modern instead of Legacy, so slightly different format, but still pretty eternal, so, can't complain. And then coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend is the next Legacy 1K. So Saturday, March 23rd at noon o'clock-ish, as they like to say, when events start 5 minutes late.
Yeah, noon 10 probably.
Yeah, noon 10, yeah, exactly.
There's deck lists to deal with at the Saturday event, so always...
Player meeting sometimes, you never know.
Yeah.
It's funny, sometimes I'm in events and the judges are trying to be considerate of the casters and they get players to write down the table numbers they're sitting at in the top right corner.
Mm-hmm.
Only sometimes they do that when it's seating for round 1 and not the player meeting, which means that you're not in alphabetical order, which means the seating number doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's not in order.
Yeah.
I appreciate the sentiment, but like some critical thinking would make that very obvious that it doesn't do anything. I appreciate the sentiment. But
I wasn't able to find a backup match right now. There is possibly so the Nick Fit Doomsday matchup is either Doomsday is going to win this turn or they're going to turn 3.
Game 3.
Or game 3, yeah.
Interesting.
So I can see it from here.
Yeah.
Nick Fit was able to is about poised to pick up that game just with Veteran Explorer and Dryad Arbor beats. And is also secretly 1 mana off from being able to cast Ugin.
Yeah.
All wonderful ways to win that, but I think
Talia does not look super excited, so it looks like Doomsday might be closing out this game.
yeah, he was able to resolve the Doomsday player was able to resolve an experimental frenzy.
So that is the line there. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
And I was like, well,
It's a good addition. I like that.
I think it's everything the deck needs because the deck just needs more ways to churn through cards, and that's a way to churn through cards. And you make everything cheap and draw spells, and you then just. It's weird because once you have that resolved, you have to brainstorm and cantrip in very different ways.
Yeah.
You need to draw cards you don't want to cast and put cards you want to cast back on top.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Experimental Frenzy seems really, really solid with Brainstorm in your deck, as long as it's not in your hand.
Yes.
Which is a weird way of analyzing a card. I played with a bit of Future Sight, and I think Future Sight's sweet, so Experimental Frenzy existing is cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep seeing this little cable thing right there, and I keep on thinking it's like a piece of my hair that's like stuck in there, and I think that it's like ripped out some of my hair, and it's kind of like, whoa, what happened? But
you just need more hair, and then you can't see it. That's my approach.
Yeah. Brainstorm can almost never enter your hand with Frenzy and play. Yeah, I agree. It's really bad if it's already in your hand, though, and then you play the Frenzy.
Yeah.
Luckily, you can sequence to avoid that, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Hitting on Doomsday with every man?
I don't think they need to hate on Doomsday. They just kind of do.
Yeah. It just happens to be that fragile combo decks that are using a bunch of egregiously overpowered cards sometimes are sticking their hand in the guilty cookie jar, and it makes them look like they're the culprit. That happens. Because I don't think Ataxian Probe was banned for Doomsday. Like, I don't even think they were considering Doomsday when they did that.
No.
That was exclusively for I think Storm and Grixis Delver. I think those are the only two decks they were really considering.
I think it was mostly for the Grixis Delver.
Yeah.
Especially the interaction with being able to do it with the Young Pyromancer was the biggest thing.
I think that it also gave Storm a lot of tools to see how clear the way was to go for it. So yeah, we still got a few minutes left in the round, but I don't think we're going to find a backup match. I want to see Greg walk by.
Yeah.
Oh, they actually are...
Are they
No, I think they're deboarding. I think they're deboarding.
I'll go check.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they probably just needed to weaken Storm a little bit. That's certainly one of the decks that I'm of the opinion was probably too good with Deathray Shaman out of the meta. That being said, I feel like Storm's kind of on the uptick recently, and maybe Cyrus can comment on this. We were talking about it a little bit in LA. I think Storm is having a much better showing recently in a lot of the more local areas, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, it's certainly not at the top 8 scale. I feel like at GP levels and stuff like that, it's done pretty much evenly, as well as it's done before. But locally, I feel like there's a huge uptick in Storm players. And yeah, I feel like the meta just kind of shifted. We're obviously only showing you a certain subset of it. Yeah, Miracles and Eldrazi are the only bad matchups. I definitely agree with that. I don't know exactly what happened with D&T, but I feel the matchup has gotten quite a bit worse. I used to feel like it was a lot better for D&T, and I'm not sure what card it was specifically that kind of changed the matchup percentage. But I definitely agree that Storm is better. Non-black Delver decks everywhere. We got a lot of black Delver decks running around. Even in that last match, we saw black Delver deck versus a Grixis deck. So they're definitely still out there in force. There have been a lot of blue-white Delver decks running around recently. I think that the Grixis Delver is probably the most popular deck in Legacy. Maybe I'm wrong. But I could have sworn that was the most played deck, with like Miracles being second, and then probably Eldrazi being third, honestly. If not Eldrazi, then...
Yep, like the movie Shrek, it's all Ogre now.
It's all Ogre now. Are there no matches left, or...?
They're all on their last games right now, into it.
That's different than, it all being Ogre.
Oh, yeah, no. No, I was talking specifically the Doomsday Nick Fit.
Yeah, that matchup
was
yeah.
done. Yeah.
I feel you. Alrighty then. Well, I'm still hoping Greg walks by, but I can't get his attention without him walking by. It's really...
Do you want to go hunt down a Greg?
If you can find him, I don't know where he is. So
okay, I can hunt Greg's.
He might not be fetchable.
Yeah. I mean, what land type is he?
Yeah, well, he might be in your hand, not your library.
Sorry. It's probably left.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the blue-white Delver deck. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it's another one of those decks that I feel like all the cards have been there for a really long time, and they've been tested to not work, and then somebody's like, no, I think they're fine, and then a bunch of people start playing it again, and I'm like, when did this happen? Why did this happen? We'll never know. Wouldn't say Miracles is a bad matchup for Storm. It's weird, because I feel like Storm, a lot of the time, it's... the amount of grinding they have to do and they have to do perfectly is how likely they are to win. Like, they have to play so many... They have to play so many turns consecutively, making a lot of decisions, and they have to make all of them right versus Miracles. And if Storm makes any missteps there, I think Miracles just slams the door in their face. So I think in terms of the matchups you could play against, Miracles is one I'd like to avoid if possible. Like, it just... The onus or the requirement of how perfectly you play your deck goes down significantly against a lot of other decks in the field. I also think a lot of Chalice decks are pretty good versus Storm as well. Eldrazi specifically. Chalice of the Void plus Thought-Knot Seer are just incredibly oppressive versus combo decks that try and grind a little bit harder. They're a little bit worse versus some of the more all-in combo decks like TES, or was it T? No. I can't remember which one is Burning Wish Storm. I think it's Tess. I can't remember. Wish Storm, whichever one that is. I think those are better versus some of the Chalice decks, but not necessarily better against the wider field. Because obviously versus decks like Miracles and Delver, I think you want a little bit more grind than you do Velocity, so Ant gets a little bit better than Tess in those scenarios. Love to hear your guys' opinions, though. If you guys have any questions in chat, feel free to fire them off. I'm here. I'm able to answer questions. I've played Legacy before, at least once, maybe twice. You never know. Sorry to hear about that. Super cool. Eldrazi Post is not the most exciting deck to play or play against. It's good at what it does, though. I've been playing a lot of Tron in Modern, and I think that's like the greatest analogy to Eldrazi in Legacy is Good cards, mulligan decisions are tough, and then the game pretty much plays itself from there out.
Yep. Greg's in hand somewhere.
He's in hand. Yep, couldn't
Yeah,
find him.
not fetchable.
Yeah, he's probably over in the bar attached to Card Kingdom. If you guys have ever been to the store, we of course run Magic tournaments, and then there's also a bar that you can use store credit at. I just think that's so cool. You can use store credit for anything here. Like if you do store credit, please do it like that. Otherwise, it's not actually store credit. It's
true.
It's you have to spend money our way, which is not really the same thing.
I feel like there's. Is there one? No, yeah, you can use it for anything. Yeah. Yeah.
No exceptions.
Yeah.
I would have found him. I would have asked, and I would have known.
It's true. I remember I was one place where you could use store credit for everything except like one thing, and I'm like, why would I want that thing anyway? So.
We are currently hooked on Arclight Phoenix. I was playing the Team Trios event over the weekend at Geek Fortress, and that was one of the team names. Is
Hooked on Arclight Phoenix.
Hooked on Arclight Phoenix, yeah.
Nice.
So we're in Mock Sporting House Ballard today, which is the Seattle location. You're moving up for your job in Seattle, and you hear where the place to play. If you want to play Legacy, this is the place to play. I will not disagree. Here in Mox Bellevue are the 2 spots to go. Here on Mondays, Mox Bellevue on Thursdays.
Yeah.
They also do Modern over there and stream that.
Yep.
That if that's your cup of tea, please tune in. But watching Modern is kind of unexciting for me. It's like he's playing this deck, he's playing that deck, and then I can close my eyes and visualize how the matchup goes. It's
yeah.
I could see him play it, I guess, but.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of other places that run Legacy as well.
Yep.
Geek Fortress frequently has stuff on the weekends. And competing with us on Mondays, there's a place up in Mill Creek that also does Legacy.
Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there, but not for Legacy.
Okay, I've never been to that store, nor have I been there for Legacy. I haven't met anybody that's been there for Legacy either, and so I'm guessing they kind of just have their own community of people up there.
Yeah, I think they get pretty decent numbers in the 12 to 16 range.
That's cool. It's exciting to hear that somehow Legacy can exist in the same area in 2 separate stores simultaneously, on the same day. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which one is closer to Amazon HQ? That's definitely the Ballard location. Yeah. There are a few stores around the South Lake Union area, some in Cap Hill that you could also check out. Phoenix and Gamma Ray, I think, are the big ones up there. And then Blue Highway and Queen Anne, and that's a lot of the stores in Seattle. Certainly not all of them. There's a few more, like Card Exchange, and that's kind of the list of all the stores I think in Seattle. Some in West Seattle.
When you go to the east side, it just explodes in numbers because real estate's cheaper.
Well, what happens is when you say the east side, you mean a lot more real estate, right? Because that's going to include stores in Mill Creek almost. They're almost on the east side. And then that also includes stuff down in Renton, like Wizard's Keep and stuff. So
you've got lots of options.
Yeah.
Lots of options.
I was selling boxes, and somebody tried to buy my boxes, and they said, "Well, can you meet on the east side?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't have a car, so where in the east side?" And they went Renton, and I'm like, "That is not the same as picking up in Seattle, my good sir."
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, I really like Mock Sporting House. I'm now spoiled. Other places aren't as good.
Exactly, and it's too bad because I think that we've been spoiled. This store has run so well. The tournament staff here is fantastic. The fact they're like, you guys just go stream. Yeah. Let's put that on TV. Let's see who wants to watch.
Why not? Yeah.
Decisions like that are very cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, even if you don't come to the area, even if you don't plan on moving to the area like Tucton Arc like Phoenix does, just know you're still a part of the community. Just by tuning in, watching, saying stupid stuff in chat, that all is critical aspects of the Legacy community, and prolonging that is as much our responsibility as it is yours. So make sure you wear that mantle gracefully. That's all I ask.
Definitely. Yeah.
Tastefully and gracefully.
Yeah. Learn all of the MTG bot commands that you can.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know we've got cat facts and Joe Cool facts. Trying to remember what other facts.
Where's the Josh Monka X facts?
Yeah, the Josh Monkas.
Yeah. Josh Monka S. Yeah. That's all I want to do. All right, I'm ready for round 4.
Hey, yeah.
There's the cat fact. Yeah. There it is.
So based on who we had undefeated last round. Hopefully, so we had wanted, we can hopefully get Lee on, because he's on his Sweet Post deck. Yeah.
I like getting Tom on camera. He's a good round 4 match.
Yeah.
He's playing Sneak and Show, so it takes pretty quick. was wondering where to play Legacy in Seattle. I'm in the Austin Legacy, but I came up there for GPC TAC a few years ago. This is it. Mock Sporting House Ballard, Mock Sporting House Bellevue. If you came up for the most recent GP Seattle, which was last year, we have the Duel for Duels event just before it. That was definitely the one to check out.
Yeah.
There's
might be a bit to travel for, but the Seattle community is very sad. The Seattle Legacy community is very sad that our Magic Fest or GP this year is not Legacy.
Yeah.
Even as an option, it's limited and it's Modern Horizons limited, which I'm pretty excited.
I'm still gonna play in.
I'm definitely gonna play.
Still gonna play in it.
I like playing formats that start with L, so Legacy and Limited. But there's a store that's throwing our own like mini GP for Legacy and also Vintage and Old School.
Yeah, Modern
like
and Legacy main events, and then
Yeah.
Vintage. And so that's Geek Fortress's event. That's
Yeah.
sometime in May, early May, I want to say.
I think so.
Puget
Yeah.
Sound Battleground. If you
Yes,
search for it, it'll
that's
come
what
up.
it's called.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be hyping it or not, but like, come play Legacy, please. Like, I don't want this format to die, so it's up to you to make it not die. If
Yeah.
it dies, it's your fault, chat. Specifically yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard the Channel Fireballs community down in California is pretty cool. I know a couple guys, some of the Bay Area Eternal guys who've been up here, and I've met them at events and stuff like that. Josh, you get to play Cabal Therapist at the GP. Yeah, so Cabal Therapist is like so close to Cabal Therapy, except all the ways that Cabal Therapy is busted, Cabal Therapist isn't. That's like really the only difference between the two cards.
Yeah.
Besides that, though, same card.
Basically. Similar art too.
Yes.
Cabal Therapist is maybe slightly better late game than Cabal Therapy is better early game, because then maybe you've got some stuff to already sack to it on the second turn.
We could have a long and educated discussion about this, but like the amount of time it takes for Cabal Therapist to outscale Cabal Therapy is it's a lot. It's a lot. And like a lot of things already have to be going right for you that would probably win you the game already.
That's fair. You would. Yeah, or you would have just a very poorly constructed deck that doesn't have many other ways of looking at the opponent's hand, so you need a consistent way to do it.
Yeah. And like ultimately, yeah, turn 3 Cabal Therapy is really not the same as turn 2 Cabal Therapy after playing Young Pyromancer.
Yeah. Or Veteran Explorer.
Yeah, like
that's what I want in Modern Horizons. I want Veteran Explorer.
Yeah. Whew, that'd be spooky.
Right? That would. I don't think that would break Modern in any way, but
we'll see. Lavinia seems insane in not Legacy but Vintage. It just seems egregious in that format.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I thought for a while that Lavinia might take a sideboard slot for some like blue-white hate bears sorts of decks in Legacy, but it doesn't have enough hate.
Yeah.
Like it's like
the thing is that's like a prison effect. It's not like a hate bear effect, and that's where like kind of the line gets drawn in a really awkward spot.
And it's not even like a hard prison card. It's a soft prison.
Well, it stops them from casting 0-mana spells, which you know is non-zero. I mean that definitely hits Force of Will and Dazes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it'll have its place, especially like Vintage. Obviously, is it's.
I think that's its place. I think it found its place, and that place is Vintage.
Yeah.
Because there's like the Humans deck right now is super busted in that format, and I think like Human Storm might be viable in that format, which is just a sick deck.
If Vintage wasn't so expensive, I'd play Paradoxical Outcome Storm.
Yeah. If I only had
So
every piece of restricted power, restricted fast mana, then yeah.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. That's the one thing that's maybe more than anything else tempts me into playing online.
Yeah, definitely. Vintage is super affordable on there. I was gonna build Bug Landstill on there, except I didn't want to buy Mana Drains because Mana Drains are really expensive. But everything else was like dirt cheap. It's like 4 Mana Drains was more expensive than every other card in the deck combined.
But they just reprinted Mana Drain too, right?
Yeah, it's still expensive.
Oh, fair. I guess it was, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really think it sees that much play, so I didn't really expect it to be. I was like, oh, they can spend like $10 on each of them. I'll call it good. It's like 45 or 50 or something like that.
Sees a ton of play in Commander, I think.
Oh, Commander players. I know Camlander sees some play.
Oh yeah, that too.
But I don't really think that those are affecting much of the Legacy price point. That might not be true.
Yeah, I spent a good couple weeks trying to get Paradoxical Outcome in some sort of shell in Legacy to work, and couldn't
It
quite
just-
get there. All
yeah.
the mana rocks are too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Paradoxical Outcome does not generate mana in Legacy like it does in Vintage, and that's ultimately the nail in the coffin. Like, that card is busted because it makes a bunch of mana and draws a lot of cards. Doing just one is not enough for a 4-mana spell, I don't think.
You can, in Legacy, you can get it where you can net out about 5 mana every time you outcome,
Yeah,
but
the
that's
thing
not
is like,
good.
when you're doing that, your deck is construed in a way where, like, you're only generating equity if you resolve outcome. Like, if your outcome
Yeah.
gets countered or anything like that, you are playing so many bad cards in your deck.
Yeah.
The cost is real high. The constraints you put on your deck for that are massive. All right, well, hopefully we're going to get the next round started here. We're only a minute or so into time.
Yep.
But,
When I was walking around about 10 minutes ago, there were about 3 matches left,
Yeah.
so there must not be very many remaining.
I'm sure that also I'll see Will here, our TO, walk by and type in the last match or something into the computer.
Yep.
Oh, I thought he was literally there right then. It's not.
No, not quite.
Problem is, you could just play Ant or Sneak and Show.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that a lot of times in Legacy, like, you could want to jump through all these fancy hoops, but a lot of times, like, it's just decidedly worse than just doing the strategy.
Yeah. There is, though. I have been toying with it for a while, and a bunch of other people are starting to realize it's a thing. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is back. It's coming back.
Yeah, what's the toad that has cycling? It's not Haze Toad. It's
Chub Toad?
No, I don't think it's
No,
Chub
it's not Chub Toad. It's Bloated Toad.
Bloated Toad. I think you're right. I think
It's cycling, and it's got protection from blue, which is
Something like
why,
that, yeah.
or it's either blue or it's protection from black, maybe. It's one of those that basically the joke was that you could stick it, and it would be able to just like no removal could touch it. Yeah. Oh, from blue. Yeah.
Yep. Bloated Toad. So when we talk about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, this is the Toad.
This is Mr. Toad. Yeah.
This is him.
You
He's
run
here.
that with Fluctuator.
Yep. Fluctuator Aid. Yep.
Yep.
Of course, this card doesn't have the restriction that a lot of new printings of cards that have similar effects do, such as like Training Grounds or something like that, where it's cannot be reduced to less than 1. They're like, we don't want to see if there's a deck here. We're going to absolutely say there's not.
Yeah, and it's just those cards, as many things as you can that cycle for 2. And even the lands, you have all cycling for 2.
There's another set of cycling lands too, right?
Yeah, there's the monocolored cycling lands for 2, and now the 2-colored ones from Omniket.
Yep.
And Laboratory Maniac and Shadow of the Grave, which gets back all the stuff you cycled and cast it again.
To cycle them again.
Yep. And it's the other way that the deck actually manages to work is you've got Cloud of Fairies and Unearth.
Okay. I like that.
That will net you usually +1 mana.
Yeah. It will net you 1 mana if you fluctuate it.
There's also
It's got a bounce land.
There's also there's a cycling land for 2 that doesn't come into play tapped now, which is also really important for the
Is it
deck.
colorless?
Yeah. It's a colorless one from one of the
Feels like an
Commander
Eldrazi
products.
card.
Yeah.
Was it from?
Yeah, it was from one of the Commander products.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah.
feels like an Eldrazi card, so I assumed it was from one of those sets.
No,
I'm wrong.
Oh,
Is that round 4 pairings?
we've
From
got
me?
round 4
Oh.
pairings on their way. Yeah.
It's round 4 pairings for Patrick. I see how it
Yeah.
is.
That's why I picked this this side slot. Yeah, we could get a Sneak and Show versus
Yeah.
Death Shadow.
Sure. That's good to me. We didn't
Yeah.
get Andrew on camera already, right?
No, we didn't.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that. So that's table 2.
Table 2. Yep.
Yarp. Table 2 or table 1? We already got table 1 on camera.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, we did get table 1 on Cantor. Yeah.
One of the players, at least.
Yep. Table 2.
We'll just do table 2.
Back up table 4, I think.
They're going to play.
They will. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully.
I was hoping Tom would walk by so I could just point to him.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have Delver v
Table 2.
Death Shadow.
Yeah.
No, not Delver v
Sneak
Death
and Show
Shadow.
versus
Sneak
Death
and
Shadow.
Show v Death Shadow as the goal. We have a backup plan now. Oh, the other one we could have picked was Blue-White Delver Knot versus Post.
Oh, that's a sick deck.
Yeah. Oh.
I lost to it on
Next time.
camera already, so.
Oof.
Well, I can spell Shadow. There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Andrew Torres.
What cards am I hoping to see in Modern Horizons?
Well, we
So-
already talked how I want to see Days and how that's
Yeah.
a bad idea.
So one card that I think might be too good, I've been doing some thinking on it, and I felt like it wasn't going to be too good, and I think it might just be a little bit too good, but I really want to see Stifle. I feel like that is a card that would allow a lot of the blue decks to punish a lot of the proactive decks without necessarily needing to know which one they're playing against.
Mhm.
That being said, I think it's probably a little too good for Shadow. Not a lot too good for Shadow, but just a little bit too powerful.
Mhm.
Besides that, I think that a counterspell with like a Path to Exile clause would be dope.
Mhm.
I think it would probably need a little bit more of an upside. Like I think exiling the spell, like Syncopate, or not Syncopate, but yeah, Syncopate. I was thinking the other one, but
Yeah. Yeah, Days Without Wasteland wouldn't be as good. That's
yeah,
fair.
I just think that they are anxious about printing 0-mana spells. The way that they've printed a lot of creatures recently, it's just tough. Ooh, Tama in the chat with Tama hands up. That is my favorite emote. I sub to exactly
Nice.
one person on Twitch, and it is for that emote. I just want everybody to know that.
Nice.
That's the one.
I sub for Jordan Isaka's Blitz GG.
Yeah. He's got some good ones in there, too.
I love the story behind his emote picture because it's.
They all involve drinking and being egregious on stream, yeah.
I mean, yes, but the one picture for that one is he was here playing Magic, and he was like playing a vintage deck, and some little kid comes up and it's like, "Oh, you're playing Magic? Can I play?" And he's like, "Man, you're not gonna have a good time." He's like, "No, it'll be fine."
Yeah, that
And
was
then,
the profile picture for Seattle Eternal Magic for a while,
Yeah.
I think. It's the picture of Jordan revealing a hand with 3 pieces of power versus someone with unsleeved decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Grixis Dash Shadow gets a little bit too good with Stifle, but I would like to see it. I also think Stoneforge Mystic should be printed. I feel like that's a really nice way to be like, see, we guaranteed that we weren't going to print any previously modern legal cards. We just didn't announce that it was going to become legal because we unbanned it.
Yeah, I don't.
And I think that's also a way to stop the card from jumping before it gets released, and then allowing people to be able to buy it at a pretty reasonable price. Andrew Torres with my favorite start in Legacy at the
Wow.
moment. Got the cycled Street Wraith into Reanimate, taken a ton of damage, allowing him to play Death Shadow on turn 2, in addition to the 3/4 Swamp Walker.
Dang, wow.
That being said, Tom's on Sneak and Show, so we'll see how fast that 3/4 Swamp Walker is able to get there. It's going to take a while.
Could take a bit, yeah. My one thing on why I don't think they'll put
Called it.
Stoneforge Mystic. Yep, there it is. Yeah. I don't think Stoneforge Mystic's going to be in because they planned this like 2 years out.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't plan to unban something because the ban decisions are usually made a lot closer to when they have to be made.
You're probably right.
But
That
we
being
can still
said,
hope. We can still dream.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't be the worst thing for Modern to have Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, definitely. That being said, I feel like it's needed to be off the ban list for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
See an end step brainstorm. So yeah, I think Tom's just 1 card away from winning the game. That's why I fired off that brainstorm on the end step. You definitely see this happen a lot. Let's see what Tom's going to do on his second turn. So he has brainstorm lock right now. He knows the top card of his library. Going to fire off a cantrip.
Yeah, the Ponder will help him break that, which is what he's going to do. There's not a whole lot there.
GSD is way too good for Modern.
Yeah, GSD is way too good. Yeah, nope, right out.
I don't think that's debatable. I think that might be more broken than Days, but not by a lot.
Differently broken, I would say, but yeah.
Yeah, they do somewhat different things. Andrew, back on the draw, finds a Force of Will, so at least he's got some interaction here. I don't think that he's got any cantrips, though. Man, Death Shadow is really not threatening at 11 life.
No, it's not.
My Death Shadow is looming, and he's 3'3".
Fear my bear. All right.
I can't run.
There's the show and tell.
I can't outrun my demons. They get underneath the. I can't remember the name of this turnstile. There we go. So we're gonna see a show and tell get casted here from Tom, and Andrew's like, haha, Force of Will. I get to pay my own life, and Tom's like, Flusterstorm.
Yeah, now what's Tom got that he can put in?
Oh, looks like we got a Daze to follow it up. Nice Flusterstorm. Oof. So that's an extra. So Andrew's going to be able to pay 3, make his Death Shadow 3 points bigger than it was the turn before. So this game all of a sudden just did get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Tom, let's see, he's got an Emrakul, he's got a Soul Land. I think that's about it. Let's see what Andrew's going to do. Reshock. Taste the rainbow, my friend. That 8 this time? Need a bolt.
Oof.
Not quite, not this time. Gristlebrand, a lot less exciting nowadays. Emrakul's still pretty threatening. Oh, wow, Tom's actually just dead. Oh, and our
Wow.
match score was
Whoops.
incorrect.
Match score was wrong. That was carried over from last time. Fixed it.
Yeah, my space button is not what is supposed to be. I'm sorry to hear that. I had an issue with my keyboard once where I can't remember what key it was. I think it was the C key, but it might have been the B key. It stopped working. And so what I did is I would copy the character, and then when I type, I would just hit Control V instead of the letter. And I got like it was surprising how like naturally I was able to like ingrain my keyboard skills by just like literally replacing one key by hitting Control V. Like I was doing it almost unconsciously at some points.
Yeah, I would definitely mess that up and just
You
be
think you would,
pasting
right?
random stuff in because I always forget what's in my
Yeah. Luckily,
keyboard.
Control Z exists for a reason.
Exactly.
I'm glad you learned about all of those keyboard shortcuts at the same time because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all important.
Oh, yes.
I like seeing Shadow win. I also like seeing Shadow win by going turn 1 turn 1 Street Wraith.
Yeah. I also like seeing Sneak and Show lose to a faster deck.
Yeah.
That
Shadow isn't even a faster deck. They just
No, it's not.
got to get underneath Sneak and Show. Had to get one solid counterspell stack off. Won the counterspell stack. Game was over.
Yeah.
And Shadow, like, it's just Shadow doesn't need a lot of mana to operate, and that's what we saw there. They played Daze and Force of Will, which require no untapped lands.
Yeah.
And 2 1-mana threats in Reanimate and Death Shadow, so...
Pretty good. Speaking, though, of Modern Horizons, Diabolic Edict effect.
I don't
in
know
Simple
if it does anything. Like, I don't know if there's any, like... I feel like no decks improve by the existence of either one of those cards. So, like, yeah, they could print all these cards in Modern Horizons, but I don't know what it does to the format. It doesn't galvanize anything. And I would like to see cards that, when printed, really galvanize a new deck. Like, or not galvanize a new deck, but galvanize a deck to exist now that it has access to that card.
Yeah, like a lot of people are saying the new Sarah Planeswalker is just basically, could be the cornerstone for a like black-white flying tokens deck, which would be pretty sweet.
I just think it's a 4-mana Planeswalker that makes tokens. Like, there's so many cards that do that already, and none of them like are drastically better than the other one. It's probably, it might be the best one, but like the step between that and Gideon Ally of Zendikar is not very large. They both cost 4 mana, so.
Starting off with the Street Wraith cycle again as the opening for Andrew. Tom was able to ponder and get a pedal down.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot of times. He'll jam the pedals just to get him down on the board. I would like Absent if we got Predict and Memory Lapse. I think Unexpectedly Absent's probably, it's a little bit too good. It might not be too good, but it's certainly on the axes. Yeah. I think Unexpectedly Absent is way more exciting than Diabolic Edict.
God, I don't want him in Modern. Please no.
Rizefall already exists, and I think the card's fine, but it doesn't see play because the effect doesn't matter. And I think Hymn to Torok would kind of fall in the same regard, except people would play it, and so you'd get a lot of feel-bad moments without the deck really doing anything. It's going to beat people in the early rounds, not in the late rounds.
Yeah.
Mother Runes is a good call. I've seen a lot of people say that too.
Yep. There isn't really like a lot of strong, long-living legacy archetypes have found their way into Modern, except Death and Taxes.
Yeah. There's been a couple different builds.
There's been a couple people that have tried, but it's never been super successful.
Yeah.
A Thoughtseize in against Tom here with a Brainstorm off of the pedal.
Yep.
Because I think Tom's got a Ancient Tomb in hand.
We're going to see a Force of Will on this Brainstorm, so that is a 2-for-2 with that Force of Will, and it makes this Thoughtseize way better. I hope Josh doesn't mull like 20 times when he's my partner. Nope, sorry. It's just variance, you gotta mulligan sometimes. So, looks like Emrakul, Brainstorm, Intuition, Ancient Tomb is the hand for Tom. So, he's very close to going off here. He just needs a couple turns.
That's the old Emrakul, not the new one. Yeah, okay.
That is an Aeon's Turn. It's it's one of the promos. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Containment Priest is another one that I've been hearing of that I like a lot. Someone mentioned that.
Fun fact, Containment Priest stops you from playing Dryad Arbor.
There's no way to get Dryad Arbor in play, correct?
Yep. Real annoying. Walked into that one a couple times. Felt bad.
I'm going to take the Intuition here. I like that. I think I would rather see Stoneforge Mystic than Mom or Contaminant Priest. But
yeah,
I don't think they can print more than one of those cards if they do.
Gotta go slow. Leave stuff for Modern Horizons too.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop this under your arm there.
Oh, sorry.
No, there. Just put your arm over the cable and then that works.
Okay, that'll work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Give me Kithkin Mother of Runes.
I could see them doing like an updated Mother of Runes. It's not where it's not quite protection, but it's protection-like prevent all damage from sources
Doesn't give
of a
straight up
color.
protection. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just hexproof and unblockable.
Yeah, hexproof from color is something that they introduced recently that
Yeah.
they could do.
The wording looks really nasty to me, but yeah, it does work.
Yeah, could be like Aunt of Runes.
Yeah, so Tom got one of his lands wasted. Gonna find a second one off that cantrip, though. Tom is brainstorm locked. One more card to look through.
Facing down a Gurmag Angler here puts him on a pretty quick clock. He's got about 3 more turns to try and find some way to resolve a show and tell. Also draw a show and tell.
Yep. Yeah, he needs to have a winning board state here in less than 3 turns, and it's going to be close to get there. We'll see if he does.
Yeah, he's got 1 more turn of Brainstorm Lock, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he knows the top card of his library right now.
Yeah.
Going to see a Brainstorm here from Andrew. I believe he's also on 1 land, so...
Yeah.
This game has been very mana light, I will say, on both sides of the board. Especially Andrew's, but on both sides.
And then Andrew's got 2... Oh, he's putting 2 of them back. He's got 2 reanimate spells he just put back onto the top because he just can't cast them.
Yep. Did he put 2? Okay, he did put them back.
Yeah.
I saw the reanimate in his hand, and I was like, wait, did he just leave those in his hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, White has a ton of sideboard cards and not a lot of good main deck cards, and I think that's good because I think if they had a good main deck strategy, they'd have way too many good sideboard cards.
Is that a divert? Yeah, he just diverted the Thoughtseize.
Oh, Gorski Borskis.
Lose 2 life and discard a card.
Yeah, he's got a reveal as well. And of course, Andrew gets to pick, but
Yeah.
I've had people do that and then think that I get to pick, and I'm like, nope.
Nope, doesn't work that way, sadly.
Yep, looks like it's going to be a Death Shadow.
Yeah, he's got reanimation spells in hand and on top of the deck, so that makes sense. Put it there and get it back at some point.
Yeah, it makes you lose 1 more life, which is probably, in the grand scheme of things, nearly irrelevant, but still exciting.
Yep.
Seems slightly better. That being said, Reanimate, compared to just casting Death Shadow, does expose you to Flusterstorm.
That's true.
And it turns out Tom
is.
actually just has the Flusterstorm, so...
Oh. But
however,
there's the scoop up because
Tom is
Gurmag
still
Angler
dead.
just, yeah.
Wow, alright.
Wow, yeah.
Well,
that
back to
rounds
that,
up the
guys.
night.
Yeah, that was a super quick match. We can maybe take a look and see if we can find a backup match. I was hoping that matchup would go 15 to 20 minutes, and it went 12 minutes, so...
Yeah, it was a bit short.
I am definitely capable of casting another round. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it, so we can take a quick peek.
I'll go hunt.
Yeah, sounds good. Expensive islands lose to budget water grace. Exactly. Exactly. Majid hitting this with the true facts, the absolutely true facts of Magic the Gathering. So yeah, for those of you who are just tuning in, we're coming on the conclusion of our weekly broadcast. Of course, 4 rounds of Legacy. That was our 4th round of Legacy. We might be able to get a backup match, though. It does depend. We, of course, have Modern every Thursday if you're into that kind of thing. And then coming up next Saturday, so a week from this coming Saturday, so like almost 2 weeks away, March 23rd, we've got the Modern 1K coming up, so that's going to be exciting. I don't know if we have casters lined up for that yet, but I imagine we will soon. Usually we get casters like a couple days in advance before those events fire, but you never know. We'll have to see. It was a divert. That was cute. Yeah, I didn't realize divert had an expedition printing or whatever. No dice. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me in the booth.
Yes.
Hope you had a good time.
Thank you, Josh. It was wonderful.
Thank all of you guys at home for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please feel free to give us a follow. We're not gonna, do anything about it, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be neat. You get to know when we've got Magic stuff going on. There's streams almost every day of the week now.
Yeah, there's been a ton of AM streams recently, which I think is exciting, and I think that right now the tournament casters and the production content creators aren't really on the same page, and we're working on that. It's certainly a work in progress, but I'm excited for the direction that does go.
Yeah, I know there's all sorts of cool stuff that's on the channel now.
The Cardboard Live overlay issue that we had this morning, or at the start of the stream, was because of the morning stream that we had that was Popper. So
yeah, I know one of the streams that there is now is the token drawing, because Card Kingdom is known for custom tokens that you can request on your orders, and so they just decided to put up like a 1 to 2 hour stream once a week of someone just drawing tokens.
Yep.
So if you like art and cool stuff like that, tune into that.
Yeah, they do requests and stuff too, which is cool. When you order cards from Card Kingdom, also sometimes you get a painted token or a drawn token. I really want to. So my handle is War Monks, obviously. So my goal is to actually use Rhino tokens that are in the pretending to be whatever the card's normal art is. So one day I'm going to get them. I have a bunch of Monk Rhino tokens right now,
Nice.
which I like.
Nice.
But I need to get some Fairy Rogues and some Worms and stuff like that.
Some Rhino Fairy Rogues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Rhino Worm, the Death Touch, and the Lifelink ones.
Nice.
Because they got to be different but similar,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
With like mirrored image, one with like a white horn, one with a black
Exactly,
horn.
yeah. Some along those lines.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's going to be us for the night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah,
That was, of course, Sporgun's Legacy. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just final recaps of upcoming Legacy-related things, because we did just spend a lot of time talking about other stream stuff that's here. We've got weekly Monday Legacy here that starts at 6:30 Pacific time. Adjust for
That's
daylight
right.
savings as you want.
Yeah, are we in Daylight Savings Time or are we out of Daylight Savings Time now? I just, like, look at my phone and it does everything for me, so...
It's one of those.
Yeah. Daylight Savings Time occurred.
Yes, we have sprung forward now.
Okay.
So
I see where you're at.
it's a thing now.
Time is relative.
Yeah, it's a
It doesn't exist. Sorry, guys.
Anyways, there's that, and then also check back in on the weekend of March 23rd. That's our big Legacy Preservation Series 1K.
1K, baby.
Starting Saturday at noon. It's going to be great, huge, all day long thing. It's usually like 5 rounds cut to top 8, 6
7.
rounds, 7 rounds,
6 or 7.
6 or 7 rounds cut
depending
to top
on how
8.
close it caps. I think that's over in Bellevue, and I feel like Bellevue has a higher cap, and so they go longer.
Yeah, so that'll basically go from like noon till like 10 p.m., 8 or 9 p.m.
8 or 9, yeah.
So if you tune in anytime that day, there's a lot of Legacy that's going on there. But, yes, back to signing off, I guess.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next time. Of course, next week, same bad time, same bad channel.
Exactly.
You guys are great.
Yep. Have